Let's try this again. From Doran Park in Bourne, Massachusetts, this is Braves Baseball. Alongside Joram Palacio, I'm Sam Wiederhaft. A total of 1.5 innings were played yesterday at Falmouth. The rain came in, and the game was postponed, and Joran, the Braves, caught a huge break last night.
Yeah, that's an understatement, Sam. There would have been a loss, you would think, for sure. Very unlikely that you'd come back in a game where you were down 7-2 in just the second inning. And it's not like they were almost out of the second inning. There was only one out in that bottom of the second inning rather, and that was after Zach Deloach hit a 3-run bomb off of Colby Dunlop, who had a forgettable start, and I'm sure he is forgetting it because that start does not count. But definitely the Braves avoid a loss and now can come out today against Cotuit and try and get a dub.
Now, the only other team in the league that loved the rain more was tonight's opponent, the Cotuit Kettleers. They were down 12-0 in the middle of the fourth inning to Harwich when their game was called. Score wiped away, and just like the Braves, the Kettleers get a fresh start tonight.
Yeah, and they're even more thankful, I'm sure, than the Braves. You mentioned 12-0 against Harwich over at Lowell Park, and they're not really sure when that game is going to be made up. There's nothing officially been announced because that was the last time that they were going to be playing Harwich at Lowell Park. So there's still some question marks around that one, but that's all for later today. It's the Braves against the Kettleers here for the fourth time this season.
Not only do we have a game on this Saturday night, but the all-star lineups were announced earlier this afternoon. We'll be talking about it throughout the broadcast, but Joran Bourne places 6 players on the West team. And on first impression, what stood out to you about this Midsummer Classic roster?
I think the first impression for me is that I think it was fair for the most part. Usually with all-star selections, we're always talking about snub this and snub that. And when you look at who from the Braves and how many Braves got selected, I don't really have an argument with it. Perhaps the only argument is that Cade Beloto, the first baseman tonight, did not get picked, but I can understand why, because he's only been on this team for about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks at that. So I understand why he missed the team, but when you look at the pitchers, Harrison Rakowski, Mac Lardner, and Carl Johnson, all three of which deserving. Then you look at the batters, Cody Morissette, Judd Fabian, and Jackson Greer as well, the self-proclaimed Cape free agent who found his home at Bourne, is also an all-star now this season as well, and he's really made the most of his season so far on the summer.
It's a beautiful Saturday evening for baseball. Lineups and first pitch from Doran Park are coming up next. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Welcome back to Durham Park. The Braves have taken the field for tonight's game against the Cotuit Kettleers. Let's look at how the Kettleers line up for tonight's game. Number 26 for the Braves in the season. Aubrey Major will lead it off. He's in right field. Dante Williams, the center fielder. He's the second spot. Parker Chavers in the 3 spot. He's playing field today. Casey Schmidt, the third baseman, is in cleanup. Mason McOrder, the first baseman, in the 5. Cody Pasek, the catcher. Christian Robinson, the DH. He's in the 7th spot. Joey Loperfido in the 8. He's playing second. And Adam Oviedo, the shortstop, rounds out the lineup for the Cotuit Kettleers. And Joran on the mound, it's J.P. Woodward making just his second start of the season.
Yeah, he's got a real opportunity to make a name for himself in this game. Woodward out of Lafayette. 0-1 on the season with an ERA just under 10 at 9.72. He's only thrown 8 in the 3rd innings, making his second start, like you said, Sam, his 7th appearance of the season. He's given up 9 runs, all earned, 10 walks, 10 hits. We last saw him throw 2 innings, giving up a run off of 3 hits and a decent showing against Hyannis just a couple nights ago. However, that last start against Chatham, he didn't get out of the 2nd inning before he was taken out of this game. So like I said, Sam, a real opportunity for him to make a name for himself and an opportunity to get himself a starting job.
Aubrey Major steps into the box, and we're about to just get this one underway. The Braves come into this game 4th place in the Western Division. Same record as last night, 10-15. Last night's game wiped away, will be completely restarted in a now doubleheader against the Falmouth Commodores. Major steps in, the lefty Woodward into the windup, kicks and fires the first pitch. It's a ball that falls low for a first pitch ball. Aubrey Major squared around a bunt but pulled it back. 1-0 count to him.
And the Braves know all about Aubrey Major so far this season.
The 1-0 pitch is grounded right back up in the middle into center field, and he's on with a leadoff single. Aubrey Major, who's been so impressive, came into that at-bat with a .415 average on the year. Now has his 23rd hit. The future All-Star, who was named a starter today, leads this game off with a single.
And that's just business as usual for Aubrey Major, only on the 2nd pitch, taking it right past Cody Morissette over at shortstop and getting on with a single, and already J.P. Woodward being forced to work out of the stretch.
Now it's Dante Williams, a rising sophomore from Arizona, .214 average coming into this game. First pitch is skied out, back over by the seats on the left field side, and we'll head over by the high school. Starts him off with an 0-1 count. The Kettleers come into this game a 14-11-2 record, riding a 2-game win streak. 2nd place in the Western Division, just 3 points behind the Wareham Gatemen. We mentioned in the open the Kettleers down 12-0 against Harwich, and that game was called in the middle of the 4th. 2nd pitch is low for a ball. Evens up the count, 1 ball, 1 strike to Williams. Need 5 innings to complete a game and make it official, and Harwich Mariners, Cotuit Kettleers could not get to that point. So the Kettleers remain at a 14-11-2 record with a 3-game win streak. Woodward throw back to first. Major's back in time.
And you talk about that game being called in the 4th inning. How much has that hurt Harwich? Sitting at 12-15, only 1 point away from making that playoff spot, that 4th spot. A big win there against a team like Cotuit. With the Brewster loss last night, they would have been sitting in the playoffs right now.
Woodward, the lefty, comes set. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Williams. It's low and outside for a ball. 2-1. Cade Beloso over at first. Jake McKenzie at second. Cody Morissette at short. He's an all-star reserve. Xavier Warren at third. Brendan Rivoli in left. Judd Fabian also an all-star. He'll be in center. And Nick Bruiser gets the start in right field with also all-star Jackson Greer catching behind the plate today. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Woodward. Ground ball, first base side going foul. We'll even up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And the thing with J.P. Woodward to watch as this game moves on here is the walks to hits ratio. Right now it's at a 1-1, meaning he gives up about a 1 hit every time he walks someone. And for a pitcher, that's not very good. 10 walks on the season for J.P. Woodward, I'm sure, without looking at the numbers right in front of me, is a team high. And he's at a 2-2 count here, has to really be sure to be pounding the zone today.
The 2-2 is off speed, got him swinging. J.P. Woodward gets his first strikeout of the evening, 1 out.
And that's a big confidence booster. Going a speedy guy like Dante Williams, if he makes any sort of contact, he's got a chance of getting on base. And big out number 1 now going against Parker Chavers here in the 3 spot. An opportunity for the Bravos to roll 2.
Chavers a .256 average, rising junior from Coastal Carolina. Woodward set. Throws back to first. Aubrey Major's back in time. 20 hits on the season for Chavers, 4 home runs, 12 RBIs. He's doubled 6 times, struck out 19 and walked 8. He will be a reserve on the All-Star team as Major's back yet again. Cotuit placed 8 players on the All-Star team. That's tied with Wareham and Harwich for the most in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Now here's the first pitch to Chavers. It's a fastball outside, called a strike. And Woodward starts him out 0-1.
Yeah, good pitch there from J.P. Woodward to get a strike. Remember, we said a lot of walks out of J.P. Woodward. If he's able to get a first pitch strike, he's on the road to success here.
Here's the 0-1. High and tight. Chavers moves out of the way, almost hits him. That'll even up the count. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Aubrey Major over on first base. I know Woodward has devoted some attention over to him over there on first, and he's not been a huge threat to go. Only 2 stolen bases so far through the season.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Bounces way before the plate. Stopped by Jackson Greer. Aubrey Major's back at first. It's a 2-1 count on Chavers, playing left field today. Coming off an 0-for-4 performance in a game at Harwich on July 11th. Cotuit and Harwich playing a home-and-home. Before that Harwich game, he had gotten hits in 3 straight games. The 2-1 is fly back out toward the seats, back behind home plate. That will fall foul toward the high school, and that will even things up at 2-2. Now we'll do 2-1. And Major gets over to second.
Well, how did that happen?
I believe they might have called a balk. We know J.P. Woodward has had 3 balks. There could have been a balk call before that pitch was thrown. Here's a 2-1. Chavers fouls it back toward the fence, 2-2.
Yeah, so that's exactly what happened, Sam. So the balk was called. It's a no pitch, so that foul ball does not count, hence the 2-1 count. Major moves up to first base, and you'd have to think the balk was for him not coming to a complete set again. We saw him do that twice against Chatham earlier in the season, so now the count goes to 2-2 off that foul ball, and already Woodward with another balk.
Woodward, that's a team-leading 4 balks on the season. Now he comes set, looks back towards second. The 2-2 pitch to Chavers is outside. He doesn't go for it, and the count will run full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, J.P. Woodward has had a problem with that all season. He balks again. This is only his second start, and we mentioned the last time he did start was against Chatham, and he balked twice in a row. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Chavers. He'll foul it off toward the screen. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Aubrey Major gets a free base, so he's already in scoring position. 1 out in the inning, 0-0 score. We're still in the top of the first. Woodward staring down his all-star catcher, Jackson Greer. Greer playing with 3 Cape Cod teams this summer. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Chavers. He will sky it over to left field. That ball's falling foul. Rivoli can't get to it, and it falls over the fence for another foul ball. He's really working J.P. Woodward now, 3-2.
Yeah, and this would be a huge out to get, especially with Major now on second base. If you get that second out, even if it's a ground ball and Major moves up to third, when you're playing with 2 outs, you don't have to worry about him that much. However, if you end up walking him, then you're in a sticky situation.
Here's the payoff yet again to Chavers. It's off speed, right down the middle, called strike 3. Second strikeout in a row for J.P. Woodward. Make that 8 on the season, and Chavers goes down looking.
Huge strikeout there from Woodward. He's able to bounce back after the balk and getting a full count on him. Now, here's a thorn in the Braves side coming up to the plate here. It's Casey Schmidt.
Casey Schmidt, a .253 average. The last game he played was against the Braves on July 7th, or last time he pitched was on July 7th. He played on the July 11th game against Harwich. Went 1 for 3 there. Woodward comes set, looks at Major over at second. First pitch is fouled off back to the screen by Casey Schmidt. 0-1. 4 home runs, 16 RBI on the season for him. 21 hits and 83 at-bats. The rising junior from San Diego State. July 9th against Bourne, went 1 for 4. He's gotten 1 hit in every single time he's played against the Braves. Woodward comes set. Looks back towards second, fires the 0-1 pitch. Fastball is fouled back off toward the backstop. And Casey Schmidt is now in a hole 0-2.
And this is very important now for Woodward here because we know he's a little bit wild on the mound. 0-2, obviously, you're thinking a waste pitch here. He has to be, I know this is going to sound like an oxymoron when I say it. He has to be accurate with his waste pitch there, missing the zone not so, where the ball gets behind Greer, and then Major has a free pass to third base.
Casey Schmidt is one of the 4 Cotuit Kettleer players who rank in the top 10 in home runs. He has 4. Here's the 0-2 pitch by Woodward. It's low and inside. Called a ball 1-2. He has 4 along with Nick Gonzalez, who has an off day today. Parker Chavers also with 4, and Arajanu with 4 as well. This Cotuit team leads the league in home runs with 26. Brewster is second with 24. And the ball certainly does not carry well here at Doran Park. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Casey Schmidt, today's third baseman. He calls time. Will step out of the box. Also pitches as well. On the season has a 4.50 ERA. He's pitched in 6 games. 2 of them have been against the Braves. The 2 Cotuit wins. Picked up the save on July 7th. The 1-2 from the lefty. Inside, called a ball. We'll even things up 2-2.
Yeah, and you mentioned that the ball doesn't fly well here. A lot of people call it a graveyard here at Doran Park because the ball just refuses to get out. That's why so far in Braves home games this season, we've only seen 2 home runs, both coming off the bat of Jackson Greer.
Casey Schmidt, a all-star reserved, named today. The 0-2 is flied high and deep. Brendan Rivoli in left field moves back on it, back to the track. He will make the play right before the wall. And that is a great example of how the ball does not carry well at all here at Doran Park. That ball just stopping right before it gets over the fence. Brendan Rivoli in left field makes the play, and the Cotuit Kettleers go down without a run. They leave a runner on second. 1 hit, no runs. 0-0 score. We head to the bottom of the first. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Zero score. Now heading to the bottom of the first inning. Let's look at how the Braves line up for tonight's game against the Cotuit Kettleers. Leading it off will be John Fabian in center field. Xavier Warren, the third baseman, back in the second spot. Kay Beloso will be batting third. He's playing first. Jackson Greer, the cleanup spot. He's catching today. Cody Morris at the shortstop. He's in the 5. Jared Pohl in the DH. He's at 6. Brendan Rivoli in the 7th spot. He's playing left. Nick Brewster in right. He's in the 8. And Jake McKenzie rounds it out for the Braves. He's at second base, and pitching is a familiar face for the Cotuit Kettleers. It's Zachary McCambly, who's already faced the Braves this season.
Yeah, he did. His last start was actually against the Braves back almost a week ago on July 7th. McCambly out of Florida University, or excuse me, out of Coastal Carolina, going up against Fabian, who's out of Florida. Last time against the Braves, four innings, only giving up 1 run, and picked up a no decision in that game. He struck out 7 in those 4 innings of work. 0-0 on the season with an ERA at 2.34. Tonight is going to be his 5th start, as we have a conversation between Mike Roberts and the home plate umpire, Mark Piantadosi.
I have no idea what this could be about. Just discussing back and forth. Home plate umpire Mike Piantadosi will scrape off home plate, clean it off. At first base, it'll be Jeff Marzell. And at third, it's Jared Duquette.
And Merzel and Roberts are still chirping at each other here. Now, this is getting a little bit heated, I think, between these two guys right now, as I'm not sure what the conversation is about as Roberts finally retreats into the dugout. I think that might be the most confrontational we've seen a manager get with an umpire all season.
That is just before the first pitch is thrown to Judd Fabian, which is a swinging strike by Zachary McCambly. 0-1. Well, it's either that or Harvey Shapiro coming out of the dugout when Cade Beloso got hit, and they called it a strikeout when he leaned in. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Judd Fabian. It's inside off speed. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fabian, 286 average, and struck out twice yesterday. All got wiped away. He's lucky for that. The 1-1 pitch is a fastball that he skies first base side heading foul, and it will fall into the seats. 1 ball and 2 strike count on him. The last time he got a hit was against the Cotuit Kettleers. In the top of the 8th inning, he got a 3-run home run, his second homer of the ball game. Ever since then, he's 0 for 8. Here's the 1-2. Off speed, a little high. Well, even this count up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that home run ended up being the difference in a 6-4 Braves win just earlier this past week. McCambly into the windup, now fires the 2-2 fastball, called strike 3, and Judd Fabian goes down yet again on the strikeout.
Yeah, he's turned that into something that's a little bit concerning, him striking out a lot. He was averaging about a strikeout per game. He had 14 strikeouts coming into tonight's game. Now he sits at 15, and he got lucky those 2 were wiped away yesterday, because if they weren't, he'd be leading the team in strikeouts.
Check that. He had struck out once and lined out to short in his second at-bat. So just 1 strikeout for him yesterday, but it still gets wiped away. Here's Xavier Warren. Off speed from McCambly is high. 1 ball and no strike to the Braves starting third baseman today. Warren is coming off a 2 for 3 performance against Wareham with a double and an RBI. 1-0 fastball on the outside part of the plate, called strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike count, 274 average. 16 RBIs, that's 9th place in the league. He struck out 18 times. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's off speed, just misses the zone on the breaking ball from McCambly. 2 ball and 1 strike count.
And McCambly against the Braves had the strikeout working. He only threw 4 innings, but he had 7 strikeouts in that game, almost 2 per inning.
The righty into the windup now fires the 2-2. It's fouled off. Or 2-1, excuse me. Now it's 2-2. The Kettleers defensively behind the plate. Cody Pasek. Mason McWhorter is at first. Joey Loperfido at second. Adam Oviedo is at short. Casey Smith, the third baseman. Parker Chambers in left. Dante Williams in center. And Aubrey Major in right field. McCambly into the windup now fires the 2-2 off speed. Bounce right back up the middle and into center field for a 1-out single off the bat of Xavier Warren.
And McCambly a little unhappy with himself that he gave up that hit on a 2-2 count. Looks like he missed his spot there on that pitch, and Warren was able to take advantage. He took the high pitch right back over the head of McCambly and bounced right for second base. And now the Braves with the base runner here with only 1 away.
Now it's Cade Beloso, a .310 average coming into this game. He's really the only player that missed out on the All-Star game that was on the borderline of deserving. Playing in his 16th game. Xavier Warren back to first on the McCambly pickoff attempt. Cade Beloso reached base in his first 13 games straight. He's 13 for 42 on the season. Another throwback, and Xavier Warren's back in time. He's homered once, 2 RBIs on the year, 3 doubles, 10 strikeouts, and 11 walks. He is a walk magnet as he's coming off an 0 for 4 game against Wareham with 2 strikeouts. First pitch from McCambly is lined back to the backstop. Starts Beloso off 0-1. The Braves' home record standing at 6-6. 2-1 in the series against Cotuit this year. Cotuit leads it. McCambly, the righty, comes set. And time is called by Beloso.
And right as McCambly was getting ready to start his motion, too. Don't want to get too stiff up there in the box. Pitchers a lot of times will do that, and they'll make you wait too long. With that hit from Xavier Warren, they already matched the amount of hits that the Braves had the entire last time they played Cotuit and faced McCambly. And that was 4 innings. McCambly only gave up that 1 hit.
0-1. Outside. Off-speed pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Beloso. The last time the Braves were here at Doran Park was just a couple of days ago, Wednesday, July 10th. A 4-2 win for the Bourne Braves over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. McCambly set, hands me to the belt. Now the 1-1 delivery is off speed and curves into the zone. Beloso watches it, and he now falls behind 1-2.
And Beloso is known for not striking out, has done so 10 times so far this season in only his 15 games played. Let's see if he can fight off a couple tough 1-2 pitches here from McCambly.
The Braves were up on Hyannis 2-1. They throw down to first. Xavier Warren back in time. Entering the top of the 8th inning when Hyannis tied it 2-2, and the Braves had 2 runs of their own in the bottom half of the 8th. And Hyannis made it a game in the top half of the 9th, but couldn't get the tying run home that was left over on second. The 1-2 to Beloso is lined into the right center field gap. That ball will get down. Xavier Warren's going to third. He's being waved in. No, he's stopped at third by Harvey Shapiro. Cade Beloso stops at first. It is a hard-hit single for Cade Beloso, and now the Braves have runners at the corners with their cleanup hitter, Jackson Greer, coming up.
Yeah, the cleanup hitter and also the all-star. He made the reserve team earlier today. Jackson Greer with an opportunity to get this team on the board. He had an RBI single in the game yesterday before that game was called off. He has 7 RBIs on the season with an opportunity here to get one more.
1 out in the inning, runners at the corner. 0-0 game in the bottom of the first inning. Greer's coming up after a 1-for-3 game with an RBI against Wareham. 286 average. He's 10 for 35 with the Braves. 5 doubles, a home run, 8 RBIs, 4 of them coming on a grand slam against the Falmouth Commodores earlier this week. 14-0 victory in that game. The first pitch to him, he fouls off back toward the backstop. Starts off Greer 0-1. And Jordan, how impressive is it for Jackson Greer to be named an all-star while playing for 3 different teams?
That's very impressive. This was a guy that didn't know he would be staying with the Braves when he signed his contract. He's able to take advantage of the time he's been given. He's hitting around 300 for all 3 teams on the Cape, and now his hard work has paid off for him.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Greer. High and tight. He ducks out of the way. A fastball. Now 1-1 on him from East Tennessee State. Originally from Knoxville, Tennessee. That's where he's been all of his life. Batted .314 for East Tennessee State. 10 home runs in the spring season. Here's the 1-1 pitch to him. Off speed that curves right in the zone. He watches for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strike count to the Braves catcher.
Yeah, I think he's going to be kicking himself that he didn't go after that one. Jackson, unlike most guys, likes to see a lot of off-speed pitches. He hits them particularly well, and he lets that one go by the wayside. Now he trails in this count at 1-2.
McCambly's hands meet at the belt. Now kicks and fires the 1-2 pitch off speed, inside and low. Now a 2 ball and 2 strike count. Runners at the corners. Bottom of the first inning, just 1 out on the board on the strikeout to Judd Fabian. 0-0 score between the Kettleers and the Braves. Kettleers lead the season series 2-1. McCambly sets off. Some disagreements with catcher Cody Pasek, who also was named an all-star reserve. Now McCambly comes set yet again. Righty on righty matchup. Kicks and fires the 2-2. Greer just fouls it off back toward the backstop. He stays in the count, 2-2.
Yeah, did a nice job there. He got the fastball, just missed it. Whenever you see the ball travel straight back into the screen like that relatively fast, that means you just missed the barrel of the bat just by about a hair or so. And now, so Greer, after seeing a fastball, you'd imagine he'd probably see an off-speed pitch here 2-2, but I don't think he'd mind too much. Looking to pull it down the left field line like we know he loves to do.
Xavier Warren at third. Cade Beloso at first. Both got on with singles. Now the 2-2 pitch to Jackson Greer. He fouls off first base side, back into the screen. Fighting off 2 strike pitches very well against Zachary McCambly. McCambly, a low 2.34 ERA on the season. He's given up at least 1 earned run in every start except his first one against Brewster on June 24th. Struck out 18 on the season. Here's the 2-2 again. Fastball got him swinging. Jackson Greer goes down on the strikeout. There's 2 outs in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, it's important out to get right there because everyone stays split. The strikeout, the most unproductive out, perhaps only second to the double play. And while Greer doesn't ground into one of those, now everyone is able to retake their normal spots on the infield with 2 outs. All you have to do is just go after the batter here, Morissette.
Now here's Cody Morissette, another all-star reserve who will be joining Judd Fabian and Jackson Greer at the All-Star game at Eldridge Park on July 21st. Here's the first pitch to him. It's off speed, curves right in the zone for a first pitch strike on Morissette. Playing short today, 298 average, 17 for 57, 11 RBIs, 2 doubles, 1 triple. 15 strikeouts this year. He started off the season 2 for 18 and has turned that around into an all-star summer. The 0-1 is chopped back up the middle. Oviedo dives for it, and he'll toss it over to second to get the force out on Cade Beloso. A hard-hit chopper by Cody Morissette that just couldn't get into center field. A great stop by Oviedo, and the Bourne Braves leave runners on first and third on 2 hits in the bottom of the first inning. No runs, a 0-0 game. We head to the second. You're watching Bourne Braves Baseball on YouTube. Heading to the top of the second inning. It'll be Mason McWhorter, Cody Pasek, and Christian Robinson due up for the Cotuit Kettleers, facing off against J.P. Woodward, who struck out 2 in the top of the first inning. Allowed 1 hit to Aubrey Major to lead off this game. McWhorter will lead it off, batting .303 on the season so far, 10 for 33. This will be his 10th game played. There's the first pitch from the lefty, J.P. Woodward, and he flies that ball up into shallow left center field. Brendan Rivoli is moving in on it. He will make the catch for a quick first out of the inning.
Yeah, 1 pitch, 1 out. That's what J.P. Woodward will love to see up there on the mound after being forced to work a little bit in that first inning. If he's able to settle in here and have a quick inning, definitely would do a lot for his confidence.
Cody Pasek steps in, and Jordan, again, the tweeners in left field are visible from here for Brendan Rivoli.
I'm telling you, I mean, it's not a great look, but I mean, whatever you feel works for you, I say go for it.
First pitch to Pasek. The catcher is a strike off the hand of J.P. Woodward, a fastball. Pasek also named an all-star for the Cotuit Kettleers, one of their 8. Here's the 0-1 pitch to him. Flies it out third base side, curving foul. And it will land back over by the parking lot. He's now down 0-2.
When you talk about Rivoli's pant length choice, it doesn't look like it. Looks like it. They're just too small for him. It doesn't look like he's choosing to do that.
It's a big style statement, that's for sure. The 0-2 pitch is upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strike count to Pasek. The catcher, he's named a reserve. There's 2 starters for the Cotuit Kettleers. Will be Nick Gonzalez and Aubrey Major. The 1-2 off speed just outside from J.P. Woodward. Evens up this count, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Woodward trying to work quickly here. Let's see what he does here on this 2-2.
The delivery outside curveball is called strike 3. Pasek goes down looking. That's the 3rd strikeout for J.P. Woodward and 2 outs in the top of the second inning.
And it'll be key if Woodward is able to have that fastball, or excuse me, that breaking ball in command combined with his fastball, I think that'll be a very lethal combination, especially if he can keep both of those pitches in the zone.
Christian Robinson now in. First time he'll face J.P. Woodward. The first pitch is a very good off speed, a swinging strike from Robinson, 0-1.
Yeah, that breaking ball, it looks to be in command today, and if JP's curveball is on, then the rest of his stuff is on as well.
0-1. Fastball down the middle. Swinging strike again. Now Robinson's down 0-2. And for J.P. Woodward, already a season high 3 strikeouts. His previous was a 2 strikeout performance on July 3rd against Wareham, where he pitched 2 innings there. Here's the 0-2 pitch on Robinson. Fastball outside. Can't get the call. It's now a 1-2 strike count.
And he just missed the call there, but you can see how much more confidence right now JP is pitching with. And baseball, like golf, a lot of it is all mental.
1-2 pitch. Curveball is taken deep to right field. Nick Bruiser moving back on it. He'll make the play just before the warning track. Nick Bruiser had to track that one down in deep right field, but he makes the play, and the Kettleers go down in order. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. A 0-0 game heading to the bottom half of the second. You're watching Braves Baseball on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Six, 7, 8 due up for the Braves in the bottom of the second inning. A 0-0 score alongside Joran Palacio. Sam Wiederhaft with you at Doran Park for some Saturday evening baseball. We thank you for joining us on the Bourne Braves YouTube channel. Jared Poland will lead it off. Then it'll be Brendan Rivoli and Nick Bruiser in the bottom of the second inning. Poland, 261 average, 6 hits on the season for him, 2 runs scored, 4 RBIs. He's hit 2 doubles, struck out 4 times. He's coming off an 0-for-1 performance, a strikeout in a pinch hit appearance against Wareham, and the first pitch hits him right on the left shoulder. A breaking ball that McCambly completely missed with his location. And for the second time during this season, Jared Poland is hit by a pitch.
Yeah, the classic curveball that does not curve. It stays high, and it looked like it got Poland on the shoulder or on the back there near his shoulder blade. And the Braves will take it. Base runner here against the guy they only scored 1 run against last time. Braves looking to break through early here with Brendan Rivoli.
Throw him back to first. Poland gets back in time. Rivoli, a 108 average, 4 hits on the season for him. He struck out 9 times. 3 RBIs. Last game he played was the last time the Braves were back at Doran Park, as Poland back in time yet again. A pickoff attempt for McCambly. He went 0-for-1 there with a strikeout pinch hit against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in the win. Throw back to first again. Poland slides back this time. McCambly, that's 3 straight throws over to first with Mason McWhorter covering. Now he comes set. Turn towards home, and now the first pitch to Brendan Rivoli is a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike 1.
That was a good frame by Pasick, the catcher there. That looked way up and outside, but it's all about how you receive the ball, not necessarily your movement after. He stuck the catch right there and was able to get the call.
Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter in Brendan Rivoli. He'll see the 0-1 pitch from McCambly, a fastball high and outside. Evens up this count, 1-1 strike. Rising junior from the University of Virginia. A solid average there. 320, 5 home runs, 42 RBIs, and a 466 slugging percentage. Now sees the 1-1 pitch off speed, thought about it, but he watches it for a called strike 2. And now Rivoli, the left fielder today, is in a 1-2 hole.
And he's already got 9 strikeouts on the season, trying to fight off it here. Last on, like Sam said, in the Hyannis game, 0-for-1 with a strikeout there.
Poland walking back toward first. Now takes a lead off the first base bag. Mason McWhorter's covering, sticks his glove out. McCambly throws back to first. Poland just back in time. First base umpire Jeff Marzell making the call. Rivoli actually played 2 years of ice hockey in high school. 1-2. Fastball high. He was up 2 balls and 2 strikes. He was an all-Berks County selection in sophomore year playing hockey. He scored a game-winning goal in overtime to win Daniel Boone High School its first ever EPSHL championship in 2015. So a tough kid at the plate here. 2-2. He got him swinging. An off-speed pitch that fell in the dirt. Rivoli thinks he fouled it off, but he now heads back to the dugout. It's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, unlucky. Got tricked on the hammer, the curveball from McCambly there. Pitch in the dirt that he went around on, and he did something I haven't seen yet. The classic. I'm pretty sure I fouled that one off, Blue. And Mark Piantadosi behind the plate, not falling for it.
Now it's Nick Bruiser. 212 average for him. 7 for 33 so far. He'll face McCambly. First pitch is a fastball outside for a called strike. Bruiser went 0-for-2 with a strikeout against Wareham. Actually started that game and then was taken out in the later innings. Typically comes on in pinch hit performances. Doesn't start too often, but he gets the start in right field today. Here's the 0-1 pitch from McCambly. Another fastball that he fouls off first base side. He's now down 0-2.
And you'd hate to see the Braves waste the opportunity of having a runner on board and not moving him anywhere. Poland, who got hit on the first pitch of the inning, now still sitting at first base, and the Braves in danger here of having 2 outs go by without moving the runner.
McCambly comes set, hands meet at the belt. Kicks and fires the 0-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball just falling low. 1 ball and 2 strike count. And Jordan, we talked about this before, but right field just being a revolving door. It seems like every game there's a new player out there. Kyler Fedko plays out there. Now Bruiser gets the start today. Alec Burleson when he was here, he played right field. And McCambly steps off the mound. That just seems like to be the spot where Harvey Shapiro hasn't found an everyday starter.
Right, and ever since Burleson left, that's when it's been up for grabs, and nobody's really jumped up the bit to claim it yet. The only guaranteed everyday starter is Judge Fabian in the outfield.
1-2 pitch off speed. Bruiser will foul it off again. First base side and out of play. He'll do the 1-2 again. Just 1 out here in the bottom of the second. 0-0 score. Jared Poland is over at first. He got on with a first pitch hit by pitch. Bruiser, a rising junior out of Stanford. Throw back to first again. Poland is back safely. Bruiser in his sophomore year at Stanford, only going 224 average, 2 home runs, 16 RBIs on the season. Stole 2 bases that year. Here's the 1-2 pitch, fastball, fouls it off right over the Cotuit dugout. He's been late on almost every pitch that he fouls off, but he keeps defending with 2 strikes.
Yeah, heads up over there, huh? I hope you're paying close attention to the game, because if not, Nick Bruiser's got a foul ball coming right for you here. Now, this is a big double play situation. McCambly way ahead in the count here at 1-2. Could see the breaking ball somewhere at the knees, maybe even in the dirt, trying to force 2.
Here's the 1-2 pitch on Bruiser inside. He takes it for a close pitch. It's called a ball, and that'll even this count up. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and this is exactly what you like to see early in this game. Nick Bruiser putting together a solid at-bat against McCambly.
Well, especially because we all know, especially in baseball nowadays, how important pitch counts are, and pitchers getting shut down after hitting a certain pitch threshold. You're able to work the count early in the game, shorten the length of the time.
2-2 is a fastball, and the Bruiser fouls off back toward the screen. Bruiser, a highly decorated player out of high school, 2016 Gatorade Player of the Year, the Max Preps National Player of the Year there. Actually aspires to become a baseball general manager, and he should probably listen to a little bit more of our broadcast with the Moneyball references.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. Seems to be won every game. McCambly comes set. Now the 2-2 pitch to Bruiser is off speed, and he flies that ball to shallow center field. Dante Williams moving in on it. It'll fall right in front of him. It'll be a single for Nick Bruiser, just his 5th hit of the summer. Or check that, 8th hit of the summer. A great at-bat. Now he's on. Runners on first and second in the bottom of the second inning with only 1 out.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit of a miscommunication there between Dante Williams and Parker Chavers in shallow left center field. Nobody really busting to go get that one. It was only a little bloop single that just floated and just dropped right in between both Williams and Chavers. Poland had to hold initially because he didn't want to get too far to second base in fear of being thrown out, but he gets a second safely. And now the Braves here in business with Jake McKenzie coming up.
McCambly throws back to second. Poland is back in time. It is Jake McKenzie, 256 average for him. He gets the start at second base today. Jimmy Glowenke has an off day. 4 RBIs for McKenzie so far this season. Standing toward the back of the batter's box. First pitch from McCambly is a fastball inside, called a strike. And for McKenzie, he's coming off an 0-for-3 performance against Wareham. 1 strikeout there. He has 5 of the team's 7 stolen bases. This team does not steal really at all. It's very rare during the games that the Braves try and take the base pass. McCambly turns towards second, now fires the 0-1 pitch off speed inside, called a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike count to the number 9 batter, Jake McKenzie.
I think it's very likely we see McCambly start to work the ball low. I think it'd be very rare to see a pitch that travels above the thigh. You pitch the ball low, you're more likely to get a ground ball out of it, and that's exactly what the doctor is ordering right now for Cotuit.
1-1. Fastball high and outside. McKenzie now takes the lead in this at-bat. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jared Poland at second. Nick Bruiser at first. Poland got on with a hit by pitch, and Bruiser singled for his 8th hit of the year. A bloop single in shallow center field, falling in between Dante Williams, Adam Oviedo at short, and Parker Chavers in left. 2-1. A fastball down the middle for a strike. Evens this count up. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Jake McKenzie.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine that McKenzie just didn't get the pitch he was expecting there. Fastball right down the pipe. Usually when that happens and a batter lets that pitch go, that usually just tells you that they were waiting for something else.
McCambly comes set. Kicks and fires the 2-2 off speed, and Jake McKenzie goes down on a check swing strikeout. Home plate umpire Mark Piantadosi called it right from where he was at behind the plate. McKenzie goes around, and that's the second out of the inning.
That's always a tough call to make as an umpire because behind the plate, the only way I think you can really call that is if you're absolutely sure. And I guess Piantadosi, the umpire back behind the dish, was certainly sure of it, rather than letting first base umpire Jeff Merzell, who's down the line, make the call off the appeal.
Now here's Judd Fabian, 0-for-1, a strikeout looking in the first. 2 outs, runners on first and second. First pitch is off speed. That falls down the zone for a strike. 0-1 on Judd Fabian. One of the 6 Bourne players to be placed on an all-star team roster in the West Division. 3 are reserves and 3 are pitchers. Mac Lardner, Harrison Murkowski, and Carl Johnson, the pitchers that got the honors. 0-1 for McCambly. Off speed, Fabian fouls it off first base side in foul territory, and now he's down 0-2. He struck out on a 2-2 pitch looking in the first inning. Fabian in danger of falling to 0-for-10 ever since his 3-run homer in the top of the 8th against the Kettleers 3 games ago. 2 outs, runners on first and second, 0-0 score, bottom of the second inning. The 0-2 delivery from McCambly is a fastball low and outside. Fabian stays alive, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, good take there. He was expecting a waste pitch and fastball missed pretty outside. Now I think here comes that breaking ball that we've seen out of McCambly that has started a lot of at-bats here with Poland over on second base, I think it'd be big here for the Braves not to strand him. Try to make something happen here. Hopefully, Fabian can put something in play.
Here's the 1-2 pitch on Judd Fabian. Off speed, got him swinging, and he goes down for his second strikeout of the evening. The Braves leave runners on first and second and can't get a run home. It's still 0-0. We head to the third inning. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube.
Best hitters in baseball with Franklin Rose.
Joey Loperfido leads things off for the Cotuit Kettleers, and it's Adam Oviedo, the 9-hitter, and back to the top in Albury Major in the top of the third inning. A 0-0 score between the Braves and the Kettleers. 3 hits for the Braves, 1 hit for Cotuit so far on J.P. Woodward, who already has a season-high 3 strikeouts. He'll face Loperfido for the first time. The lefty into the windup brings the ball back, and the first pitch is cut on and missed. Or fouled off, hits the plate. Starts off the Kettleers' second baseman with a strike 0-1.
And Woodward in rhythm right now. 3 strikeouts of the first 2 innings. And he starts off the right way here with the first pitch strike.
0-1 to Loperfido is a fastball swinging strike for now an 0-2 count. J.P. Woodward, a player that grew up watching the Chatham Anglers, or at that time they were the Chatham Athletics. Now delivers the 0-2 pitch to Loperfido. Fastball outside. Loperfido doesn't give. 1-2. And then got to start the first game of the doubleheader against Chatham. 1-2. Loperfido, high fly ball to left center field. That ball will get all the way to the wall. Loperfido now heading for second. It's picked up by Rivoli in left center field. The cutoff throw to Morissette. It's a leadoff double for Joey Loperfido.
And Loperfido with a nice piece of hitting there, taking the ball where it's pitched. It's up and out, and he takes it up and to the opposite field in the left center field gap. Nothing Rivoli or Fabian could do. That ball split the gap, and by the time Rivoli picks it up on the warning track out there, Loperfido was already rounding first and heading to second, and now Woodward here being made to work a little bit in this top of the third.
For Loperfido, that's just his second double in the summer. Now Adam Oviedo, a .230 average on his part. July 11th against Harwich. Went 1 for 4 with an RBI, 2 strikeouts. Had a stolen base in that game as well. 3 stolen bases for him on the year. 22 strikeouts. Woodward comes set. Fires the first pitch to Oviedo. A fastball down the pipe for a strike 0-1.
Braves need a big out here in order to get that first out of the inning, keep Loperfido hopefully at second base. If Woodward is able to work a strikeout here, that'd be huge. You gain an out without really giving anything up on the base paths.
Woodward comes set. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Oviedo fouls it off first base side, going foul. Now he's down 0-2.
Well, there you go. That starts it off well for Woodward now as he gets the pickoff sign from Jake McKenzie at second base. 0-2, I'd say go right after him here. No need to waste something. I'd say we'll probably see a breaking ball here low. If not that, it's probably going to be a waste pitch than the fastball high.
Loperfido at second. Nobody out. Top of the third inning, 0-0 score. Woodward, the lefty, comes set, fires the 0-2 pitch, and Oviedo fouls it off toward the screen. His 22 strikeouts ranks 15th in the league so far this summer. The leader is actually Austin Wells. for YD, who not only has the home run title right now with 6, he also has the strikeout title with 29. He's batting .330 on the year. 0-2. Oviedo watches a fastball inside from Woodward. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
It actually skipped up in the dirt, and Jackson Greer doing a nice job moving over and blocking it in plenty of time here. 1-2 still way ahead. You just don't want to get too aggressive and go after a strikeout, end up making a mistake and letting Oviedo knock something into the outfield.
1-2 from Woodward. It's off speed and falls inside yet again. Jackson Greer has to slide and block it. Now it's a 2 ball and 2 strike count.
Yeah, so we've seen the fastball, we've seen the breaking ball. Now the question is, what is Woodward going to throw here? 2-2, you definitely don't want to get into a 3-2 situation because you lose all of your creativity there. You're almost guaranteed to have to go fastball. At 2-2, you still have the opportunity to go breaking ball if you can find it in the zone. I think that's what we might see here.
2-2. Oviedo ropes a ball right down the left field line. Coming home is Loperfido. Brendan Rivoli fields it, throws it to second. Loperfido comes home to score. It's an RBI single for Adam Oviedo, and the Kettleers get on top first.
Well, he saw a great at-bat there from Oviedo. He falls behind 0-2, fouls off a couple pitches, takes a couple pitches out of the zone, works it to 2-2. Then he gets that fastball down and in, takes it right down the left field line, and easily scores Loperfido from second base, and Cotuit's on the board.
14th RBI of the year for Adam Oviedo, and now it's the dangerous Aubrey Major. Got on with a single in his first at-bat and takes the first pitch grounder right up the middle. It's fielded by McKenzie, who taps second, throws to first for a double play, a huge double play off the bat of Aubrey Major, who was looking for a lot more than that.
Yeah, a little lucky there as the off-speed. It looked like a changeup there from Woodward. That Major hit off the very end of the bat, took it straight up the middle as Piantadosi, the umpire, is going to go switch out baseballs with Woodward. McKenzie was able to field it just on the north side of second base, and where he was at, he was able to step on second and make a throw in plenty of time for a somewhat rare 4-3 double play.
Aubrey Major, that's the second double play he's grounded into this year. It's now the number 2 batter in Dante Williams. Struck out his first time in the first, comes up here in the third, but now the base is empty. First pitch from J.P. Woodward is a off-speed, upstairs pitch for a ball, 1-0. 1 run has come across the plate for the Cotuit Kettleers in the top of the third. An RBI single by Adam Oviedo. The 1-0 pitch to Williams from Woodward, fastball outside. 2-0.
And this is where the slippery slope starts to get a little bit steeper for Woodward. You just got a big double play. Let's not put somebody on base in 4 pitches.
2-0 pitch to Williams, a fastball strike. 2-1 now. Cotuit is riding a 2-game win streak. Go on, Jordan.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a good bounce back pitch. You have Cotuit, who came into the game hot, like you said, winning 2 straight. You don't want to give them any more confidence than they need.
2-1 pitch to Dante Williams, fastball. He fouls back toward the screen. 2 ball, 2 strike count with 2 outs, nobody on. Kettleers place 4 of the top 10 home run leaders. A very powerful team, but also that they play at a very short ballpark, Lowell Park, one of the older ones on the Cape. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Williams. Foul ball, third base side, back toward the snack bar. And we'll do it again, 2-2.
Raj Anu representing the Kettleers in the home run derby. We saw him hit a monster shot off of Harrison Rakowski in that last game at Lowell Park just a few nights ago.
2-2 from Woodward. And Dante Williams, a little float around to right field. It gets down right in front of Nick Bruiser for a 2-out single. Oh, that's why that double play was so important. The Braves are lucky there was nobody on for that one. Just an easy little single. Williams is on, and now Chavers comes up.
And Parker Chavers, not someone to be taken lightly. He struck out looking his first time, but Dante Williams coming into the game hitting at .215, shoots the ball into right field for a 2-out single. Like you said, Sam, important that nobody was on base. Let's see if Woodward can get himself out of this now.
First pitch is high to Chavers. A 1 ball and no strike count to him. He struck out looking in the first inning. 3 strikeouts in this game for J.P. Woodward so far. A season high. Delivers the 1-0 to Chavers. He flies it back toward the press box. We'll even up this count. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, no reason to panic right now for Woodward. He's only given up 1 run, gave up a 2-out single, but is going to take an extra base hit here from Chavers to get Williams to score all the way around. Just go out, do that same old thing here on the mound with 2 outs.
1-1. Off speed outside. It bounces in the dirt. Greer throws it over to first. Williams is back in time on the throw to Beloso. Make that now a 2 ball and 1 strike count to Chavers, playing left field today. The Kettleers lead the season series 2-1 so far. Now the 2-1 pitch is high and inside to Chavers, and he has a great hitter's count, 3-1.
Yeah, and this is where, as a pitcher, you have to be real cautious because on a 3-1 count, you almost certainly have to go fastball if you want to find the zone guaranteed. But you know that's what Parker Chavers is going to be sitting on.
3-1 pitch is off speed that just lands in the zone for a strike, and now the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Dante Williams will be running on this pitch over at first base. Woodward comes set. Williams takes off. The payoff to Chavers is outside. It's a walk. And now the Kettleers have runners on first and second. Still 2 outs in the inning. Casey Schmidt, who's a dangerous hitter, coming up.
Yeah, you would like maybe to see Woodward go on a pickoff move there as Harvey Shapiro is coming in. We might see a pitching change right now. Carl Johnson is getting loose for the Braves, and it looks like we are going to see a pitching change. So J.P. Woodward's night comes to an end.
Wow, that's going to be it for J.P. Woodward. 2 2/3 innings pitched with Harvey Shapiro coming out right now. That is the longest he's pitched this season. He comes out with runners on first and second, and already in the middle of the 3rd inning, the Braves head to their bullpen. New pitcher coming on for the Bourne Braves. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. The starter, J.P. Woodward, is done. He goes 2 2/3, allowing 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and striking out 3. And Jordan, it's the newly named All-Star in Carl Johnson, who's coming up with 2 outs, middle of the 3rd inning, runners on first and second.
Yeah, perhaps the toughest situation, the toughest hand he's been dealt coming out of the bullpen. Like you said, runners on first and second here. And Carl Johnson on the year, 1-0 with a perfect ERA at 0. He's thrown 12 innings, making his 7th appearance today, 14 strikeouts. Last time we saw him was back on July 8th, so about 5 days ago. He threw 2 innings, striking out 3, only giving up 1 hit. And like you said, we were thinking back then that he had to be an all-star, and he has come through and is an all-star, 1 of 6 on this Bourne team.
And one of the reserve pitchers, Carl Johnson, will make an appearance at Eldridge Park. Runners on first and second. Dante Williams at second. Parker Chavers at first. It will be Casey Schmidt, who's 0 for 1, a fly out to left field. Deep left field in the 1st inning. Traced Brendan Rivoli back. Now Carl Johnson, the right-handed pitcher, comes set. 2 outs. First pitch to Casey Schmidt is upstairs for a ball on the fastball. 1-0. Johnson from UConn, a rising sophomore. Stands at 6'5". pitching in his 7th ball game, and you mentioned that perfect ERA that has helped him get to the All-Star game. The 1-0 is a fastball down the pipe for a strike, 1-1.
And he just hasn't thrown enough innings to qualify to be in the Cape ERA, but obviously if he had, he would have already been number 1 with that 0.00 ERA.
Johnson comes set, fires the 1-1 fastball. It's low, taken for a ball. Jackson Greer slides to save it. He blocks it with that chest protector. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Casey Schmidt.
You definitely don't want to walk him here. Don't want to get in a situation where you're at a 3-1 count and have to really claw back from behind. But Schmidt knows that, and because it's a 2-1, you'd probably expect a fastball here from Johnson.
Here's the pitch from Carl Johnson, off speed, right off the end of the bat, falling in front of Cody Morris at the shortstop. He'll pick it up, throw to first. It's not in time. Casey Schmidt put it in the perfect place in the infield. That chased Morissette right in front of the second base bag. Schmidt has the speed. He was able to beat it out. That's an infield single for him, and the bases are now loaded for McWhorter.
Yeah, unlucky there for Johnson and for Morissette. Just caught it off the very end of the bat. A little bloop that falls in between Johnson and Morissette at the shortstop position. By the time Morissette picked it up, he had no time.
First pitch to McWhorter is an off-speed pitch for a strike. McWhorter looks at it, 0-1. He's 0 for 1. A fly out to left in the second inning, facing Carl Johnson for the first time. Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter matchup. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Little chopper back to Carl Johnson on the mound. Picks it up with the bare hand. Fires to first. It is just in time to retire Mason McWhorter, and the Kettleers leave the bases loaded. They do have 1 run come across the plate, an RBI single by Adam Oviedo, so they lead it heading into the bottom half of the third. 1-0 lead for the Cotuit Kettleers. Bottom of the third action coming right up here on the Bourne Braves YouTube channel. Kettleers get on the board first in the top of the third. 1-0 lead. It'll be Xavier Warren, Cade Beloso, Jackson Greer due up for the Braves in the bottom half of the third. Warren is 1 for 1. He singled in the first inning and got all the way to third. And he was left on base at the end of that inning. So it started this game off strong against Zach McCambly, who remains on the mound. Will begin his third inning of work. McCambly's into the windup, fires the first pitch on Xavier Warren right off the end of the back. A check swing, a grounder to third. Casey Schmidt makes the long throw. It's in time to get Xavier Warren. Almost chased Mason McWhorter off the bag, but he just moves to his left side, stays with his right foot on the bag to retire Xavier Warren.
Unfortunate, because if that ball had a little less speed on it, it would have been the perfect bunt right down the third base line, but the ball rolled all the way to the bag. By the time Schmidt picked it up, he was able to make the throw across the diamond. Like you mentioned, almost pulled McWhorter off the bag, but he was able to keep that toe on for out number 1.
Just a weird check swing there that Xavier Warren got contact on. The first pitch to Cade Beloso is off speed outside. Beloso also 1 for 1, a single in the first inning on a 2-2 pitch. Now the 1-0 delivery to Beloso. He'll drive that ball to right field. Aubrey Majors moving to his right side. He'll put it away for the first out, or second out, excuse me.
Beloso making good contact on that pitch, but just got under a little bit too much. The ball hung up in the air, and catch was able to be made for out number 2.
Now it'll be Jackson Greer. Greer is 0 for 1 with an uncharacteristic strikeout. We'll be facing McCambly for the second time. First pitch to Greer. Fastball, little chopper over to second. Chasing Loperfido to his left will pick up the grounder, tosses it over to first, and Jackson Greer is retired. A quick 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the third inning for Zach McCambly on the mound. No runs, no hits for the Bourne Braves. We head to the fourth, 1-0 lead for the Kettleers. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Top of the fourth inning. Still a 1-0 lead for the Cotuit Kettleers. In right field for the Kettleers now, and batting in the leadoff spot will be Cameron Hill. Aubrey Major taken out in the middle of the third inning. Not sure what's going on there, but Cameron Hill will be leading it off now for the Kettleers. Cody Pasek, Christian Robinson, Joey Loperfido due up in this top half of the fourth against Carl Johnson. The first pitch from Johnson is low for a ball, 1-0.
And with Major, you would have to assume perhaps maybe an injury. We know he had some hammy problems, some hamstring problems earlier in the season. You'd hope it's not that, but you'd have to assume so.
1-0 pitch is taken to right field, bounces in front of Nick Bruiser. A leadoff single again for the Kettleers. That is 3 out of the 4 innings they have led off with a runner on base.
Yeah, and that's what the Kettleers love to do. They love to get people on and move them around. So Carl Johnson now, not something he's used to, is being in the stretch and with a runner on base.
Johnson hasn't let up a run all year. A perfect 0.00 ERA. He'll face Christian Robinson for the first time, who's 0 for 1, a fly out to right in the second inning. First pitch is flown out left field side, heading toward the seats, and will fall foul. An 0-1 count now on Robinson. Get to it. Second place in the West. Braves in fourth place. Hold on to that last playoff spot by 7 points on Hyannis. The 0-1 is a fastball on the inside corner for a strike. 0-2.
And a strikeout would be here from Johnson. He's got 14 of them on the season. Be a nice time to pick up number 15 and kind of just calm the nerves a little bit, get that big first out of the inning.
Pasek on first. The 0-2 pitch cut on and missed. The first strikeout of the evening for Carl Johnson and the first out in the top of the fourth.
Number 15 now for Carl Johnson, for number 15 on the mound. Now with Loperfido coming up after he doubled and has scored. If he can get him to ground into an inning-ending double play, Carl Johnson will be 2 innings of the way through and pretty successful thus far.
Loperfido 1 for 1, a double, came around to score the only run of today's game. The first pitch he swings at is a chopper back to Cade Beloso, throws it to second to a covering Morissette. They're able to get Cody Pasek. Just the one out. Loperfido will reach base on the fielder's choice.
So not quite able to turn 2. However, they get the out at second base, and
At bat, number 6.
they take care of the catcher. And now just have to go after Oviedo here with 2 away.
Oviedo, the RBI single in the last inning in the top of the third. 14th RBI on the season for him. Will face Carl Johnson for the first time. Loperfido on first. 6 hits for the Kettleers. 3 for the Braves. First pitch to Oviedo. Grounder over to Xavier Warren. That goes foul. Picked up on the bare hand by Mike Roberts, the Kettleers manager. And Oviedo is down 0-1.
And after giving up that base hit, Johnson has responded real well. Strikeout, and then a fielder's choice on the first pitch, and fires a first pitch strike after that.
Here's the 0-1. Off speed, catching the zone for Carl Johnson. And Oviedo is now down 0-2 with 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning. Well, this game started off extremely slow, about 2 innings in the first hour, and a 4-pitch inning in the last inning thrown by Zach McCambley against this Braves lineup. Sped this one up a little bit. 0-2 is high and outside, 1-2. And now Carl Johnson on the mound. 2 outs and a 2-strike count on Oviedo, picking things up a little bit.
And it was a waste pitch there on the last one. Fastball way up and out. You expect Johnson here to go and attack the zone. At 1-2 count, no need for another waste pitch. I think he goes right after Oviedo here.
Here's the 1-2. Off speed, high and tight. Evens up the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Loperfido still over at first. Oviedo's back into the box. 1-0 lead for the Cotuit Kettleers. Top of the 4th. The 2-2 pitch is high and tight. Carl Johnson looking to work the fastball. And the count now runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Loperfido will be going on this pitch with 2 outs.
Yeah, I think we'll see another fastball here from Carl Johnson on the 3-2. Or Loperfido will get the head start, and the ball placed in the gap just might score him.
The payoff pitch is a grounder that goes foul. Third base side picked up by Mike Roberts again. And a broken bat.
Yeah, so Oviedo will go get a new piece of lumber. That was a Marucci bat. That's one of those bats that the players supply themselves. We see the popular brand on the Cape is the Axis bats, usually provided to all the teams. They say they normally assume that each player will go through about 4 to 5 of them per season. At least that's coming from the Bourne general manager, Darren Reeks. So now Oviedo's got a new stick and is ready to go here on the 3-2.
We actually got the chance to look at one of those Axis bats. We have one back at home.
Yes, we do.
Paul Gazzo, former Bourne Brave catcher, broke a bat in batting practice. We got our hands on it. Johnson comes set. Fires the 3-2 to Oviedo, and he flies out a ball that's curving into the seats in foul territory. Beloso gives it a look, but he doesn't go for it. And we'll do the 3-2 again. Oviedo is coming off a 1-for-4 game against Harwich 2 days ago. An RBI in that game, 2 strikeouts. Of course, yesterday's stats being washed away. Harwich was up 12-0 on the Kettleers in the 4th inning. Payoff to Oviedo. Off speed, hits him right in the leg. Loperfido goes to second. Oviedo now to first.
That's a rare mistake there from Carl Johnson. His first batter of the season. And now, in a situation with runners on first and second, back up to the top of the order, it's not Aubrey Major, it's Cameron Hill.
At bat, number 14.
So Hill, the new leadoff batter, has a 2.08 average playing in his 20th game this season, 11 for 53. 1 double, just 2 RBIs for him on the year, and 18 strikeouts. He's got 8 stolen bases, so typically used as a pinch runner. First pitch from Carl Johnson is a fastball down the pipe, a strike 0-1. He pinch ran against Harwich on July 11th. Had 2 at-bats in the July 10th game against Falmouth, went hitless with a strikeout. His last hit was July 9th in the Bourne game. 0-1. Fastball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. He went 1-for-1 with a run scored against the Braves in a 4-6 loss for the Kettleers. One. Hill watches it inside corner for a called strike, and Carl Johnson moves ahead. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. 1-0 lead for the Kettleers. They have runners on first and second.
He's in the situation against Oviedo before he hit him. Oviedo fouled off a bunch of pitches, worked the count full to see if Johnson better command this at bat, able to get that final strike.
He steps off the mound, time called. The Braves have played in 15 games decided by 2 runs or less. They are no stranger to a tight ball game, and this one is appearing as if it might be that. A 1-0 lead for the Kettleers, top of the 4th. Johnson comes set, hands meet at the belt. The 1-2 delivery bounces way before the plate and hits Cameron Hill. It bounced about 7 feet before home plate and actually came up and hit Cameron Hill in the midsection. So the Kettleers now load him up for Dante Williams, who singled in his last at-bat. He's 1 for 2.
And everybody on base right now got on with something other than a hit. It was Loperfido who got on base thanks to a fielder's choice, and Oviedo and Hill were both just hit by pitches. So now Dante Williams, who's already got a single, like you said, Sam, has the opportunity to really break this game open now against Carl Johnson.
And a good matchup for Williams, too. A left-handed batter facing the right-handed Carl Johnson. First pitch is an off-speed pitch, high part of the strike zone for a called strike. Williams is 1 for 2, struck out in the first, singled in the third. Loperfido on third, Oviedo on second, Cameron Hill on first. Oviedo and Hill both got on by being hit by a pitch from Carl Johnson. 2 outs in the inning, 1-0 lead for the Kettleers. Now the 0-1 pitch on Williams is high, saved by Jackson Greer. Count now moves to 1-1.
And we've seen Johnson. He's done all the right things on the mound except for finishing the job. He's thrown first pitch strikes. He's gotten ahead in counts 0-2, 1-2. Just hasn't really capitalized on that opportunity. He's going to have to do that against a speedy center fielder here like Williams.
Johnson comes set, kicks and fires the 1-1 inside, called a strike. Williams moved his hands in on the bat. It's a called strike from Carl Johnson, and he's 1 strike away from getting out of this thing. Bases loaded, top of the 4th. Kettleers lead it. Carl Johnson already coming on in relief for J.P. Woodward, who went 2 2/3, allowed 4 hits. He allowed the earned run and struck out 3. Time is called. Greer and Johnson couldn't agree on a pitch. He'll step off. A perfect sunny and 75. No real wind here. Now Carl Johnson comes set. The 1-2 pitch to Williams is high, 2-2. The bullpen in left field cheering Carl Johnson, named an all-star today. One of the 3 Braves pitchers. Harrison Rakowski and Mac Lardner are the other ones. Johnson the only one coming out of the bullpen. 2-2. Williams, a high fly ball left field side. Rivoli is moving in on it. It'll go over the fence for a foul ball. Williams defends well. It's still 2-2.
And it looks like Johnson not as confident up there on the mound right now. Seen him the off speed a couple times, has hit players. Now, does he have the same confidence to go and throw that pitch here on a 2-2 count up against Dante Williams, or is he just going to stick to what he knows best, and that's a fastball?
Carl Johnson with 1 strikeout today so far. It came earlier in this inning against Christian Robinson. 2-2 again. Off speed, Williams just gets a bat on it, fouls it over third base side into the seats. A great job of adjusting on a slow off-speed pitch by Carl Johnson. Williams waited on it and just fouled it off the end of the bat.
Yeah, it was a good piece of hitting there from Williams to adjust to it. Obviously expecting fastball based on how his body reacted to that pitch. He was able to stay back and just fight it off.
2-2. Williams fouls it off again. Back to the press box. And over the seats. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Kettleers are no stranger to putting up great at-bats against the Braves. Aubrey Major earlier this season put a 13-pitch at-bat against the Braves. Ended up getting a hit at the end of it. Bases loaded. Carl Johnson comes set. The 2-2 again to Williams. Got him swinging on the off-speed. It bounces in front of Greer. Williams going to first on the drop third, and the throw to Beloso is in time. Carl Johnson gets out of it with a bases-loaded strikeout on Dante Williams, and the Kettleers get no runs across the plate. They still lead it 1-0. We head to the bottom half of the fourth. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Carl Johnson gets out of a bases-loaded situation with a strikeout. It's still a 1-0 Cotuit Kettleers lead now in the bottom of the fourth inning. And Cody Morissette will lead things off for the Braves, followed by Jared Poland and Brendan Rivoli. Morissette's 0 for 1, grounded out to short in his first at-bat. Had an 8-game hit streak that was broken in the game against Wareham 2 days ago. He'll face McCambly for the second time. First pitch is a fastball called in the outside part of the plate, 0-1.
Braves only trailing by 1 run here, still looking for their first real threatening opportunity. Warren made it to third all the way back in the first inning, but since then, really nothing doing.
0-1 off-speed pitch, same part of the plate, outside. McCambly gets the call, and Morissette is now down 0-2. Cotuit leads the season series 2-1. They've scored 17 runs against the Braves, and the Braves have scored 13 runs against the Kettleers. The 1-1 is grounded over to second. Loperfido moves to his right side, picks it up, tosses to first, and gets Morissette in time for the first out of the inning. Morissette now moves to 0 for 2.
And a hard-hit ground ball there just stayed on the ground, and Loperfido was able to easily field that one. All just fundamentals there. Picks it up, throws it on the first base in plenty of time for the first out. And McCambly, after a rough couple first 2 innings, has really settled into a groove.
Now it's Jared Poland. First pitch is outside. Thought about it, but he pulled back. He got on with the hit by pitch in the first pitch of the second inning. So doesn't have an official at-bat just yet. Back into the box. McCambly into the windup. Now fires the 1-0 pitch. It's off speed and high. Poland lays off. Now 2-0. McCambly started the game against the Braves, the 8-6 win for Cotuit earlier this season on July 7th, a week ago. Now fires the 2-0 pitch on Poland. Fastball down the pipe for a strike, 2-1.
Now Poland ready to go. He saw his strike. Usually a lot of players don't like to go until they see his strike and at bat. Now he's all set here on the 2-1.
2-1 delivery to Poland is a check swing. He couldn't pull back on a ball that was in the dirt. Now evens things up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. McCambly in that game went 4 innings, just allowed 1 hit, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Now the 2-2 is low on the off-speed pitch. Bounces in the dirt, and the count now runs full to Jared Poland, the Braves' number 6 batter. Nobody on. 1 out, bottom of the fourth inning, 1-0 lead for Cotuit. McCambly into the windup, now fires the payoff. 3-2, got him swinging. Poland goes down for the first time tonight. And make that 6 strikeouts for Zachary McCambly on the mound.
At bat, number 26 from the University.
Yeah, and he's been dominant so far. He set down 5 in a row, and now Brendan Rivoli left to try and make something happen for the Braves.
McCambly got 7 strikeouts the last time he faced the Braves. Now has 6 with Brendan Rivoli, who struck out in his last at-bat coming up. First pitch is high and tight. Rivoli lays off 1-0. 2 outs in the inning, bases empty. Just 3 hits for the Braves. One out to Rivoli. Off speed, way outside, off the hand of McCambly. Rivoli is ahead, 2 balls and no strikes.
You just want the Braves to have someone on base this inning. Kelly setting 5 in a row down. Get a base runner, you have to start from somewhere, whether it's by a walk, by hit, by pitch, no matter what.
2-0 on Rivoli is taken to left field. That will get down for a single in front of Parker Chavers. Rivoli takes a 2-0 pitch opposite field to left and gets on with a 2-out single.
Yeah, that does the job, too. No need for a walk. If you could just shoot a laser out there to left field, it one-hops Parker Chavers, and Rivoli on base with a hit. Good to see him. It looks like he has his confidence back after his extremely slow start to the season. Now, Nick Bruiser with an opportunity to keep the rally going.
That's Rivoli's 5th hit of the year. And now it's Bruiser who got on with a single in the second inning. Judd Fabian was the only one that got a hit against Zachary McCambly in that July 7th game. He got a double in that one. So Braves doing a little bit better against the Cotuit starter. Throwback to first. Rivoli's back in time. 1 run home in the top of the 3rd inning, and that's been the only scoring done today. Throwback to first yet again. Rivoli's back in time. The one greatest mystery on the Bourne Braves team is why Brendan Rivoli keeps switching from number 20 to 26. Seems like it fluctuates every single game. First pitch to Nick Bruiser is cut on and fouled back into the glove of Cody Pasek, the catcher, 0-1.
Yeah, we should have the team's beat reporter, Carson Field, do a investigative piece about that.
Oh, that'd be a great story.
Rivoli in the case of the switching number.
Now, I think what would be better is the stat. Does he do better in 26 or does he do better in 20?
So that's something that's real. Sabermetrics should look into that. Saber
Yeah.
should really look into that. What players numbered from 1 to 9 hit, and then the next set of numbers from 10 to 19 go by tens.
Yeah. Throwback to first. Rivoli is back in time. You never know. Maybe the 2 numbers weigh more on the jersey, so it slows down the speed. Hey, Jake McKenzie's number 2, and he's got a team leading 5 steals. Never know. The 0-1 pitch to Bruiser is a fastball high and tight. He lays off. Evens it up, 1 ball and 1 strike.
There is a stat for everything.
There is.
Trust me. We will, especially on the major league level, you could probably find that stat. What players hit wearing 2 batting gloves versus 1?
1-1. Off speed inside. Bruiser lays off. Now 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, Giovanni DiGiacomo would love some batting gloves. He flew a bat here a couple games ago. Let go of it mid-swing.
I don't think he's not used batting gloves since. I think it's been gloves on both hands ever since he lost control of that bat.
Just to be safe. McCambly comes set. The 2-1 pitch on Bruiser is flied in the infield in foul territory. McWhorter is moving toward the Cotuit dugout. He will make the play right in front of the Kettleers. So Bruiser fouls it off first base side, and McWhorter, the first baseman, puts him away for the 3rd out of the inning. No runs on 1 hit. The Braves leave 1 runner on. 1-0 lead for the Kettleers. We move into the 5th. You're watching Braves Baseball on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Sunny and 75. Can't get more better than that here at Doran Park as Carl Johnson is back on the mound to take over this 5th inning for the Braves. He will be facing Chavers, Schmidt, and McWhorter, the middle of this lineup for the Cotuit Kettleers. Carl Johnson getting out of a bases-loaded situation last inning by striking out Dante Williams. And in that bat that seemed like it went on forever, Carl Johnson remains concentrated and gets him out to leave the bases loaded. Chavers coming up. He's 0 for 1. A strikeout looking in the 1st inning and walked in the 3rd. Carl Johnson comes set. Right-handed pitcher against left-handed batter matchup. First pitch is flown out. Left field side going foul. So Chavers starts off 0-1. Chavers, another reserve on the all-star team for the Kettleers. They have a league-high 8. 0-1 falls low and bounces before Jackson Greer. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Tied with Wareham and Harwich for the most all-star selections. They have 2 starters, Aubrey Major and Nick Gonzalez, who is not playing tonight. 1-1. Off-speed pitch, a little high and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike now. And Nick Gonzalez, the last time these 2 teams played, had a 79 on-base streak snap. Chavers rockets that ball to deep right field over the head of Nick Bruiser. It'll bounce over the wall for a ground rule double. And for the 4th time in 5 innings, Cotuit leads it off with a hit. That is a big hit off the bat of Parker Chavers.
Yeah, talk about not missing your pitch there. Really taking advantage of the 2-1 counts, and he rockets that one into right field. Nothing Bruiser could do but try and play it off the wall. Problem is it bounced over the wall. The wall is only about waist high here at Doran Park. So about, maybe 3.5 feet or so to most players. It bounces way over the wall, and ground rule double to start us off here on the top of the 5th.
So it's Chavers at second. Casey Schmidt, who's 1 for 2, a single in the 3rd inning coming up. The first pitch from Carl Johnson is high, a fastball. Starts him off 1-0. These are one of the lower fences in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Falmouth last night, and what we got in of that game, has a particularly high fence, one of the highest ones, but the Braves rocking the low fence, and it plays in Parker Chavers' favor. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Schmidt. He turns around to bunt. It's a fastball high and outside. Schmidt left the bunt out, and it's called a strike.
Yeah, so Schmidt turns around, squares up to bunt here. The Kettleers playing small ball here, and I like that call from Mike Roberts. This has turned into a game where a 2-0 might win it. If you score 3 runs, I think you might have enough to take the game home with only that amount of runs. So Schmidt, why not? Drop a bunt down the 3rd base line. You might beat it out.
Johnson comes set. The 1-1 is fouled off first base side, hits the screen. And Schmidt is now behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. Seven hits for Cotuit, 4 for the Braves. Nick Gonzalez, the player we were talking about before the double from Chavers, 79 on-base streak snapped. The first time since last year's college season that he played at New Mexico State that he's been held off the base paths. He reached base on every single collegiate game he played in and every single game he played in the Cape League. To that point, the 1-2 pitch is over the outstretched glove of Morissette on the line out to left field. Schmidt gets on with a single. Chavers to 3rd. Runners now at the corners for the Cotuit Kettleers, and Carl Johnson is in danger of giving up his first earned run of the season.
Yeah, and actually, Cody Morissette indirectly did a good job keeping the runner at bay there. That's Chavers. He could have easily come around 3rd to score there, but because of Morissette's jump that he just missed the ball on, he gives the illusion that he has an opportunity to catch the ball, and he almost did. However, that sell job keeps Chavers at bay at second base, and he was only to advance 90 feet. But now Johnson, like you said, in real danger of giving up that first run.
Mason McWhorter now comes up. He's 0 for 2 and takes the first pitch to left field. Rivoli moving back. He'll make the catch, but that will allow enough time for Parker Chavers to come home on the sacrifice fly. He crosses home, and Cotuit now leads 2-0.
And so mark it down as Carl Johnson, it looks like he throws just over 13 innings, 13 1/3, that he gives up his first run of the season. I think it's the curse of Tyler Mannion. Tyler Manning on a couple Tomahawk talks ago, he mentioned how Johnson had remained perfect throughout his early campaign. As Harvey Shapiro comes out, Carl Johnson had told Tyler that he was worried about the jinx, and on his first appearance since, he gives up a run.
The first earned run for Carl Johnson this season comes on a sac fly from Mason McWhorter, and Brendan Rivoli possibly saving a run there. That could have come with Casey Schmidt over at first. He had to leap in left field, misjudged it a little bit, but still makes the play on a very hard hit ball from Mason McWhorter. Harvey Shapiro meeting with Carl Johnson on the mound right now. There are a few arms warming up. Blake Burzell, one of them. And Harvey Shapiro now walking off the field. He'll leave Carl Johnson to it. He now faces Cody Pasek, who's 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout.
Yeah, this inning is still not over, too, because with only 1 out, it's a base hit here from the catcher Pasek, and we could be right where we started in this inning with runners in scoring position, perhaps runners on the corners, and only 1 out.
McWhorter picks up his 7th RBI of the year, playing in his 10th game today. First pitch to Pasek. Off speed, right in the middle of the zone for Carl Johnson. A great breaking ball. Starts him off 0-1.
No, I say it all the time in this situation, but Carl Johnson only 1 ground ball away here.
0-1, runner goes, ground ball right back to Johnson. He tosses to second, is in time. Throw to first. It's a double play, a 1-6-3 double play for Carl Johnson, and he gets out of the inning. But the Kettleers get 1 more run on the board. It's a 2-0 lead. We head to the bottom half of the 5th. You're watching Bourne Braves Baseball on the Braves Baseball Network. Two-zero lead for the Cotuit Kettleers. Jake McKenzie, the 9-batter, will lead it off for the Braves. And while he's hitting Jordan, let's do a quick trip around the Cape. I hear there's a shocking score in the Chatham-Hyannis game.
Well, yeah, Chatham was up 3-0 on the Harbor Hawks. Now that score reads 3-2. That game in the top of the 7th from McKeon Park. Of course, the Braves will have their eye on that one. Elsewhere, Brewster has a 2-1 lead over the Falmouth Commodores in the bottom of the 6th.
First pitch to Jake McKenzie is a fastball from Zach McCambley, who remains on the mound. He starts him off 0-1.
And you look elsewhere around the league, Wareham have a 1-0 lead over Harwich from Spillane Field, and Orleans with a 1-0 lead over Eastern Division foe YD in the bottom of the 2nd inning there.
0-1 is chopped by McKenzie, now 0-2. That Chatham-Hyannis game is quite literally the best team in the league against the worst team in the league, best record and worst record. And Hyannis putting together a little bit of a fight.
And Hyannis, it seems like they only are missing just a solid pitching performance. They have the bats. We've seen that in the past before.
0-2 for McCambley is an off-speed pitch that falls low on McKenzie. 1 ball and 2 strike count. McKenzie's 0 for 1, a strikeout swinging in the 2nd inning. McKenzie actually started the game that McCambley pitched against the Braves. He went 1 for 2, was a run scored, and walked as well in that game. Here's the 1-2. Off speed, right on the end of the bat to shallow center field for McKenzie. That ball is going to be caught by Dante Williams in a diving catch in center field. An impressive athletic play from Dante Williams, who was charging into shallow center. He lays out, diving forward, and puts away McKenzie for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, sometimes when it rains, it pours. The Braves really haven't been able to buy a hit since the second inning. And Dante Williams not necessarily getting the best read on the ball. He took a couple steps back before having to charge in, and he makes that dive at the very last second to prevent McKenzie from getting ahead. And now it's back to the top of the order here for the Braves.
Fabian is 0 for 2. 2 strikeouts. First pitch to him is a hard-hit ground ball to Adam Oviedo. The shortstop picks it up, fires to first, and Fabian is out for the third time today. And since his home run against Cotuit, now moves to 0 for 11. A tough stretch for the Braves center fielder. 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, 2 outs in the inning, and now Xavier Warren step up. This is only a 2-run game. I think it feels like it's a bigger deficit than only 2 runs. However, all it takes for the Braves here is a bloop and a blast. Somebody to get on base, and then somebody like Cade Beloso or Jackson Greer or Cody Morissette to really hit a home run, and we're all knotted up.
Xavier Warren, who's 1 for 2 with a single in the first inning, steps up, watches ball 1 in the dirt. That's only the 6th pitch of the inning for McCambly. He had a 4-pitch inning earlier in the bottom of the third. So he has been rolling through this lineup, just giving up 4 hits, no runs so far. In the windup, now delivers the 1-0 pitch on Warren. Little chopper over to second to Loper-Fido. He'll glove it, throw to first, and Warren is retired. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Zach McCambly on the mound. He only threw 7 pitches to get through the Braves lineup. No runs, no hits. Still a 2-0 lead for the Cotuit Kettleers heading to the top of the 6th. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Carl Johnson's night is over. He pitches 2 1/3 innings, allowing 4 hits, just 1 earned run, and striking out 2. And coming on the mound will be the rising sophomore from Arizona State, Blake Burzell.
And Burzell, so far on the season, 0-1 with a 2.16 ERA. He's throwing 8 1/3 inning. This will be his 6th appearance of the season. He's given up 3 runs, only 2 of which earned, 4 strikeouts, 9 hits. We last saw him throw against Cotuit back on July 9th, just a couple of days ago. 2 innings pitched, only giving up 1 hit. He got a couple huge double plays that got him out of the bottom of the 6th and 7th of that game before he could give up any runs. And he has the opportunity now going up against the Kettleers to really just try and keep the Braves in this one, trailing 2-0.
Yeah, it'll be 7, 8, and 9 batters due up in the top of the 6th. 2-0 lead for the Cotuit Kettleers. Christian Robinson will lead things off in this inning. The first pitch is off speed from Burzell for a called strike 1.
And for Burzell, I think it'll be important here if he's able to work fast. We know he likes the fastball, but stay efficient with it as well.
0-1 is low to Robinson. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's 0 for 2. A strikeout in the 4th inning and a fly out to right in the 2nd. Burzell likes to work fast. Into the windup now, fires the 1-1 pitch to Robinson. Rope down the first base line going foul toward the trees. Burzell now takes a lead in the at-bat. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This game flowing a lot like the first matchup between these two teams did. Was a 4-1 win for the Cotuit Kettleers as Burzell into the windup, fires the 1-2 pitch. Robinson fouls it off third base side. 4-1 win. The kicker for Cotuit was that they had 14 hits and only scored 4 runs. Now they have 8 hits and have only scored 2 runs. Burzell into the windup. The 1-2 pitch is taken left field. That ball going foul. Rivoli chases it all the way to the wall. Still a 1-2 count. And Jordan, a lot of the same pitchers pitched in that game. Harrison Murkowski led it off. He went 4 innings, allowed 9 hits. Then it was Carl Johnson, followed by Blake Burzell.
Yeah, it was. And we've seen that a couple times this year. Pitchers working a lot of the Western opponents because they play them so fast.
1-2's inside, 2-2.
This is the 3rd time in what feels like a week, the 4th time in a week and a half that we've seen the Kettleers. Braves have played they're going to see a whole lot of Wareham coming up, YD in the schedule, all before that off day next Sunday.
2-2 on Robinson, bounces in the dirt. The appeal, he did not go. And the count now runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that first matchup between the Braves and the Kettleers on July 2nd was the first time since the Braves' last game against Wareham that they were held under 3 runs. 3-2. Robinson got him swinging. Burzell's first batter. He strikes out for the first out in the top of the 6th inning.
And it's big for Blake Burzell. Big for the confidence to go out, get a strikeout in your first batter. Now you have to go up against the dangerous Loperfido, who already has a double and a run scored and has been on base both times.
And Loperfido has been a tough out against Carl Johnson, and J.P. Woodward, the Braves starter, faces Blake Burzell for the first time. Into the windup, fires the first pitch to him. It's a fastball high and outside. 1-0.
And for Burzell, it's usually his outing is determined if he's able to work that second pitch. If he's able to work an off-speed in with that fastball, he's usually in pretty good shape.
1-0 off speed gets Loperfido swinging. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Braves are the only team in the All-Star game on July 21st at Eldridge Park in Orleans without a starter. As Burzell fires the 1-1 pitch on Loperfido over to Morissette, a line out right into the glove of Morissette for the second out. He was right where he needed to be. Wasn't too hardly hit off the end of the bat by Joey Loperfido. Morissette just had to take a few steps to his right and put him out on the line out for 2 outs.
Yeah, barely had to move for that one. Just took a step or two over to his right and made the catch with his left hand. Easy as you like, and it's been a quick 2 up, 2 down so far for Burzell.
Now it's Adam Oviedo. Had an RBI single in the 3rd inning that brought home the first run for the Kettleers. Now faces Burzell. First pitch is off speed and inside for a called ball, 1-0. Every other team in the Cape League has a starter, at least one, on the All-Star roster. 1-0. Off speed inside yet again. Identical pitches, 2-0. Hyannis has Hunter Goodman, who's been a home run machine for them. 5 homers for him on the year. But the Braves, only team that will not have a player going out in a starting lineup at the All-Star game. 2-0 is high, and Oviedo now takes the lead, 3-0.
And I wonder how much you contribute that to playing at this park, because ball doesn't travel here at all, so you're not going to wow anybody with the home run numbers. The highest on the team is 3 right now.
3-0, fastball down the middle, 3-1.
And with that, usually the average, the ball doesn't carry, or the ball carries a little bit too much because it just hangs up in the air and makes it easier for the outfielders to catch. So you have to think how many base hits it would have been at other parks or outs here.
3-1 on Oviedo is a fastball just inside. He lays off, and he's now on first with a walk. All 3 times he's come up to the plate today, he's been on base.
Yeah, a single, a hit by pitch, a walk. I think the only thing you can do to get on base is, fielder's choice and a hit by pitch, but he already has that. So a fielder's choice or reaching on by air are the only 2 ways that Oviedo can get on base by ways he has it so far.
Back to the top of the lineup, Cameron Hill, who came on as a pinch hitter in the 4th inning for Albury Major, now sees Burzell for the first time and watches the first pitch high for a ball, 1-0. And when you think about it, home run-wise, the only Braves that have homered at their home park, it was Jackson Greer on the Grand Slam and Xavier Warren against Harwich last week. Those are the only 2 home runs to come here at Doran Park for the Braves. 1-0. Hill takes it right back up the middle to center field for a 2-out single. Oviedo gets to second. Cotuit now has a runner in scoring position after Blake Burzell got the first two batters rather quickly.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there from Cameron Hill. Took his time and he got his pitch on the first pitch, sound fastball, and took it into dead center field. Oviedo had been able to advance to second base, and now a base hit away from perhaps from the run on second, and that is Oviedo.
Back to Dante Williams, has struck out twice, singled in the third inning. He struck out with the bases loaded in the fourth against Carl Johnson for the last out of that inning. The first pitch from Burzell is a fastball outside, 1-0. 9 hits for the Kettleers. Has only amounted to 2 runs for him. 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. Runners on first and second. Here's the 1-0 from the righty Burzell. It's a fastball that Williams swings at. Evens up the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
A good count here for Burzell, getting that strike back. There's a big difference between 2-0 and 1-1. If he's able to throw in a hard breaking ball here to Dante Williams, get him to go and swing at that pitch, he could be in control of that 1-2. But it's all about this pitch right here that might determine the rest of the at-bat.
Burzell comes set, hands me to the chest, turns back towards second. Now we'll fire the 1-1 pitch to Williams. It's a fastball, got him swinging. Throw down from Jackson Greer to second, bounces away from the shortstop, Cody Morissette. Adam Oviedo gets extremely lucky. He took a big lead off second base. Jackson Greer saw it, and right after the swinging strike on Dante Williams, Greer fired it over to second. It just missed Morissette and bounced into center field.
Yeah, it might have been not sure if it hit off the helmet of Oviedo. He was a little slow to get up. But an accurate throw there from Jackson Greer probably retires Oviedo. He was way off the bag on his secondary lead after the pitch was thrown. But now Burzell has to put that aside from him here and attack Williams at 1-2.
1-2 is a fastball high. Count now even at 2-2. Deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on for the Kettleers. The score is 2-0 Cotuit. Burzell staring down Jackson Greer. Gives him a sign. Now comes set. Kicks and fires the 2-2 on Williams. Got him swinging. And for the third time, Dante Williams goes down on the strikeout. He leaves runners on first and second this time. Cotuit can't get a run home. Still a 2-0 lead for the Kettleers. We enter the bottom half of the 6th. You're watching Braves Baseball on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Zach McCambley is back on the mound to begin his 6th inning of work. It'll be Cade Beloso, Jackson Greer, and Cody Morissette due up in the bottom of the 6th inning. A 2-0 lead for the Cotuit Kettleers. It was one run for him in the top of the 3rd and 1 in the top of the 5th. And it's up to the Braves now to come back, but McCambley has looked good so far, only allowing 4 hits. And one of them was to Cade Beloso, who comes up here. He's 1 for 2 so far in this game. McCambley under the windup, fires the first pitch. It's off speed outside. And Beloso starts off 1-0.
Yeah, and McCambley with 6 strikeouts here through the first 5 innings, working real well. Likely will be his last inning. You don't normally see pitchers go into the 7th.
1-0 pitch is another off-speed pitch. That one finds the zone for a strike, 1-1. And there are no arms warming up right now in the right field bullpen for the Kettleers. McCamley begins the windup, fires the 1-1 pitch, falling low. Taken for a ball on Belosso's side. 2 balls and 1 strike. There is a pitcher stretching, it looks like. 2-1. Fastball, Beloso, rope down the first base line. That ball will get to the wall. Beloso turns first, now heads for second. It will be a leadoff double for Cade Beloso and his second hit of the ball game.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting from Cade Beloso. Roped it down the right field line toward Doran Park's version of pesky pull at right field. Only 300 feet to hit it down there. And that's exactly what he did off a couple hops. And he cruised into second base for the double. And that's exactly the type of offensive spark that this offense needed. Now brings up Jackson here with the opportunity to get the Braves on the board.
Yeah, it's a shallow right field. It's only 300 to the foul pole. And Beloso took it right down there on a line drive. And now it'll be Jackson Greer. The tying run comes to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th. Nobody out. A leadoff double for Cade Beloso. Greer's 0 for 2 with a strikeout in the first inning. McCamley comes set, turns around, looks to throw it to second. He doesn't. Greer on the season with 8 RBIs. First pitch he sees is a hard swinging strike. He starts off 0-1.
And the sun beginning to set a little bit here at Doran Park over at Bourne, Massachusetts. I'm kind of confused as to why we haven't seen the lights turn on yet. It's getting a little bit dark. Can we have the lights, please? To quote the Wareham PA announcer.
Yes, the Wareham PA announcer told whoever's running the lights to turn on the lights. One of the weirdest things we've heard out of a game.
That's one way to communicate.
It is. 0-1 is another swinging strike. That time Greer got a piece of it, but it's fouled back into the glove of Cody Pasek. And now Greer is behind 0-2. He's already struck out once in today's ball game. He has 9 strikeouts on the year with Bourne. Struck out 3 times with Harwich, and once in his one game he played with YD.
And you hate to see a strikeout here. You at the very least hope to get Beloso over to third.
0-2 pitch is cut on and missed at a ball in the dirt for Jackson Greer. So he goes down on strikes for the second time today. That pitch was well out of the zone, and typically from Greer, we see a pretty well-disciplined at-bat. That time he just went way out for it.
He's been fooled so far at the plate, to say the least. 2 strikeouts and a ground out to second. Pretty weak performance so far from Jackson Greer. He was named to the All-Star team, but here's another All-Star right here in Cody Morissette.
Morissette 0 for 2 so far. Beloso over at second. The Braves have only left 5 runners on all game. The first pitch to Morissette is off speed and outside from McCamley. It's 4 runners left on base for the Braves. Miscounted.
Math is hard sometimes.
It is. Baseball being a numbers game, it's hard to wrap your mind around it. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Morissette. It's a fastball too low and outside. And Morissette now ahead, 2 balls and no strikes.
This is big for Morissette here. If he's able to perhaps draw a walk, bring up somebody like Jared Poland to the plate with runners on first and second with only 1 out. Anything to just create some pressure on McCamley, who hasn't felt it in a long time.
Morissette looking for his first hit of the ball game. McCamley comes set, fires the 2-0 pitch. It's outside. Now Morissette has a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, 3-0, no matter what here, Morissette will be taking on this pitch. So it'll probably be a fastball just right down the middle, but Morissette will take. You never know.
McCamley comes set. Here's the 3-0 pitch. It falls low, and Morissette walks in 4 pitches. The Braves have runners on first and second. Jared Poland, who's reached base on a hit by pitch in the second inning, now comes up, looking for his first hit of the night ball game.
And we'll have Mike Roberts come out to the pitcher's mound, and we'll see if we see a move here. We know Mike Roberts likes to be very methodical, to say the least, about his mound visits. One of those, will he or won't he? And it's going to be a pitching change. It looks like Casey Schmidt will come into the game.
That's why we didn't see a pitcher warming up in the bullpen. Casey Schmidt, who's playing third base, will come into this ball game. We'll take a quick break. That is it for Zach McCambly. We'll be right back with the pitching change. 2-0 Cotuit. You're watching Bourne Braves Baseball on YouTube. The night is over for Zachary McCambly, who pitched quite a good one. Went 5 1/3 innings pitched, only allowing 5 hits, 1 walk, no earned runs. And for the second time against the Braves this season, he strikes out 7. And Joran, they bring in their third baseman, Casey Schmidt.
Yeah, Schmidt moves from third base to now the pitcher's mound. Matthew Mervis takes his spot over at third base. Schmidt, so far on the season, he's 0-0 with a 4.5 ERA. 10 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts. He's thrown against the Braves 2 times and has pitched at least 2 innings in both those appearances, 4 2/3 combined. He's given up 3 runs. However, none of them are only coming off of 2 hits. He earned his first save of the year back on July 7th in that 8-6 win against the Bravos. Now has runners on first and second here with only 1 out.
And the Braves turn to a pinch hitter in Kyle Hess, who will take over for Jared Poland. Poland finishes the night 0 for 1. He got hit by a pitch and struck out. Hess has a .243 average, 9 for 37. Typically comes on in pinch hit situations. The first pitch is a fastball strike from Casey Schmidt and starts off Hess 0-1. Hess's last game was against Wareham. He pinch hit there as well, went 1 for 1 and got on with a hit by pitch.
And we know Harvey Shapiro loves to play matchups, so that's what he's doing here. They bring in the righty the righty Schmidt, so they move Mervis to third, and they bring in the lefty Hess to go on and try and get a hit.
Time is called. Cody Morris sits at first. Cade Beloso is at second. 2-0 lead for the Kettleers. Casey Schmidt comes set. Here's the 0-1 pitch on Kyle Hess. Off speed, driven to right field, but moving in on it is Cameron Hill. He'll make the play on the run for the second out of the inning. A hard hit ball by Kyle Hess, but he hit it too far right. Almost got in the gap, but Cameron Hill covered ground, ran in, and made the catch for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think Kyle Hess actually hit the ball too hard. He roped it into the right center field gap. However, the ball just hung up in the air a little bit for Hill to run over and make the catch. Now it falls to Brennan Rivoli. He's already got a hit in today's game, but a hit here likely scores a run at second base.
Rivoli's 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. 2 outs. First pitch is swung on and fouled off toward the brick backstop. Rivoli with 3 RBIs on the season so far for the Bourne Braves. The tying run is at first base here in the bottom of the third. Rivoli looking to put together a clutch at bat against Casey Schmidt, who he faces for the first time tonight. The right-handed pitcher comes set, fires the 0-1 pitch, grounded down the first base line. McWhorter, it's a called foul ball by first base umpire Jeff Marzell. That ball was right on the line. Rivoli had a good chance of beating it out, but it's now an 0-2 count.
Yeah, it would have been a tough play, but now instead, Rivoli's got to battle back here from 0-2. He's already struck it out once before and has to battle back to prevent it from happening yet again.
Rivoli back in the box. Harvey Shapiro, a manager that loves matchups, puts the lefty Kyle Hess in, followed now by the lefty Brendan Rivoli. Schmidt comes set, fires the 0-2 fastball inside. Rivoli backs out of it. First ball of the at-bat, 1-2.
A good take there from Rivoli. Both Schmidt and the catcher Pasek behind the plate trying to sell the call by walking away from the umpire to try and get him to call a third strike. Rivoli watches it inside, and now probably going to get off speed here on 1-2.
1-2. Off speed, broken bat, slow ground ball over to second. Loperfido gloves it. Throw to first is in time on Rivoli, and the Braves leave runners on first and second in the bottom of the sixth inning. So a 2-0 lead for the Kettleers as we move into the final three frames. Seventh inning coming up next. You're watching Bourne Braves Baseball on YouTube. Cotuit leads at 2-0. Entering the top of the seventh inning, Blake Burzell will face the middle of the lineup. It'll be Chavers, the three-hitter, leading it off. Then Casey Schmidt, who has moved to the pitcher spot, and Mason McWhorter. 3, 4, 5 due up for the Kettleers. Chavers, a 1-for-2 game so far. Walked in the third, doubled in the fifth, and the first pitch he sees from Burzell is a called strike one.
Yeah, this is a big part of the lineup to go up against 3, 4, 5. All the power hitters. Burzell's going to be challenged here in this top of the seventh.
0-1 inside on Chavers. Almost hits him. He backs out of it. It bounces toward the backstop. Got underneath the glove of Jackson Greer. It's now a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Chavers. One of the 8 All-Stars selected on this Cotuit roster. 1-1. Fastball way too low. Bounces in the dirt. It's now a 2-1 count.
And something about Burzell is that he's effectively wild. To where as a hitter, you don't really know where the ball is going to be. You don't know if it's going to be right down the middle, or if you don't know it's going to be at your head. You don't know if it's going to be in the other batter's box as well.
2-1 is off speed. Chavers puts a bat on it. It fouls at third base side, going toward the seats. Hits off the high school, and that evens up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Jordan, you have to think if it wasn't for this past week, you would have had more players selected to the All-Star game in the Braves bullpen than just Carl Johnson. 2-2 pitched from Burzell is lined over in the left center field gap. It gets down in front of Brendan Rivoli for a leadoff single off the bat of Chavers.
Yeah, like you were saying, Sam, if Tyler Brocious doesn't go out and have 2 shaky appearances, he's, you think, a shoo-in for an All-Star appearance. If Josh Culliver doesn't get shelled by Wareham in his only start, going for 7 runs, he probably makes the All-Star team. I mean, there's a whole lot of what-ifs you can play with all this team, but it is what it is. I think the Braves with 6 nominees, like I said, I think that's a fair number, probably where it should have been. The only snub I could think of is maybe Cade Beloso.
Casey Schmidt now comes up with a runner on first, turns around to bunt, and it actually hits off the bat and goes foul in a pitch that would have hit him. And I believe it did. He's in pain on the third base side. He turned around to bunt, and the only place I can think where it hit him was the hand. It bunted. It actually hit off the bat, and the ball goes foul, so it's an 0-1 count. The training staff is tending over to Schmidt on the third base line. And Jordan, this could affect the pitching now for the Kettleers. If he gets hurt, they'll have to bring up a new pitcher. Absolutely,
and they'll have to also sacrifice their spot in the order for the pitcher spot as well. So there's ramification when it comes to that. First things first, you just want to make sure that Schmidt's okay. It sounded like a hit off the bat. However, the vibrations, depending on where it hit on the bat, could have been felt in the hand, and that's why the Cotuit training staff looking at him. He's got the batting glove off the right hand, just kind of flexing it out, and they're looking at it right now. And it's not real easy to have a 95-mile-an-hour fastball coming at you and hit maybe a centimeter or two off your hand on the bat, but have the vibration go through your hat, and especially off a wood bat as well. Those things hurt.
Casey Schmidt, a player with 2 singles in this game, came into this game batting in the 250s, but has 4 home runs. He seems like he's okay. Takes a few practice swings. Another player selected to the All-Star game as a reserve for his hitting, not his pitching. He's okay. He's back into the batter's box to face Blake Burzell with an 0-1 count. Chavers over at first. Schmidt shakes off the minor injury and now stands in the 0-1. Here's the pitch from Burzell. It's a line drive right over to Warren. Bounces over his glove and into left field. Coming around third will be Chavers. He will slide in. The throw to second is not in time. It's a double for Casey Schmidt right after he injures his hand.
Yeah, ground ball hit very hard to Xavier Warren over at third base. He had to make a play on it. The hot corner, it's called for a reason. Just couldn't quite corral it in. It skips Piem. Problem is it trickles into left field by the time Brandon Rivoli was able to come to it. The runner all the way coming from first base, Chavers, got to third, and then because of how slowly the ball was rolling, Schmidt was able to slide into second base safely for a double, and now Harvard Shapiro comes out, and this might be the end of Blake Burzell's night.
You had Cody Morris at the shortstop all the way in the left field position, trying to help out Brendan Rivoli in what was a very weird bounce off the glove of Xavier Warren, but this will be a pitching change. Blake Burzell is coming out. The Kettleers have runners on second and third with a 2-0 lead here in the top of the 7th. We'll be right back with a new arm for the Bourne Braves. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Harvey Shapiro pulls the plug on Blake Burzell. He pitches 1 inning, allows 3 hits, 1 walk, and strikes out 2. And Joran, this is the earliest appearance we've had Tyler Brocious, the Submarine pitcher, pitching a game.
Yeah, the Submarine now making his entry here into the top of the 7th inning, and he was roughed up a little bit in his last appearance against this Cotuit team. He hit through 1 1/3. This was back on July 9th, the game that the Braves were able to hold on and win. He's given up 3 earned runs. He was actually taken out of the top of the ninth. Nick Iverson had to come in and earn the save. He's slowly fallen back to earth. He still has 4 saves on the year. It now has an ERA at 5.19, 8 2/3 innings pitched. He's giving up 5 runs all earned, and now has a tough situation going up. Mason McCorder here with runners on first and second, or rather second and third, and nobody out.
Harvey Shapiro turns toward the submarine. Tyler Brocious with runners on second and third. It's Schmidt on second. They gave him a single. He gets to second, and Parker Chambers now on third. 2-0, Kettleers lead it. And Mason McCorder will step up for the first batter against Tyler Brocious. The first pitch, McCorder will fly out third base side, going foul. Starts him off 0-1. Last time McCorder was up, he got a sac fly in the 5th inning. That was the last run that the Kettleers were able to score. He has a major RBI opportunity here.
And Brocious pitched in the 8th and part of the 9th last time against the Kettleers, and he gave up all 3 runs back in the 9th inning off an RBI single, 3 RBI single to Araj Anu.
The 0-1 pitch is a broken bat. It was a ground ball first base line that went foul. And that bat just completely split in half. Luckily, the other piece didn't fly anywhere. It just stayed in the batter's box. So Mason McCorder will get a new piece of lumber. He's down 0-2.
That's big from Brocious. If he's able to get a strikeout here on this first batter, keep everybody at first and second, get an out, and then a ground ball, and you're able to get out of here with no sweat off your back. However, he goes waste pitch maybe on this next pitch, and then things start to get interesting, but he's in a good spot right now at 0-2.
Tyler Brocious is tied for the league lead with 3 other pitchers in saves with 4. The last 2 appearances he's had, he's given up at least 2 runs. Brocious shakes off a sign. Nobody out in the inning. And time called. He steps off the mound, looking to agree with Jackson Greer on the right pitch, his catcher. Now Brocious comes set. Runners on second and third. Hands meet at the belt. Now begins the submarine motion. The 0-2 pitch is flied up behind the plate. Jackson Greer will watch that ball move into the seats and skip among the grass area. It's still an 0-2 count on Mason McCorder.
Yeah, still an 0-2 count. Still has plenty of room for air here on this next pitch. However, you don't want it to get skipped by Jackson Greer. You do not want it to be that wild. Good waste pitch here from Brocious. Doesn't have a lot of velocity, so if anywhere, he's going to be missing outside and low.
Brocious comes set. Here's the 0-2 pitch on McCorder. It's a fastball driven to right field. That'll bring in a run. Skips over to Nick Bruiser. Casey Schmidt is held up at third. It's an RBI single for Mason McCorder, his second RBI of the game.
And his second in the last 2 at-bats. Now, that run will be credited to Blake Brazell, and so will Schmidt if he comes around from third. But with the Braves only having 5 hits in this game, giving up their 3rd run, still nobody out in this inning. It's a long way from over, if you're Sam.
1 run in the top of the 3rd, 1 in the top of the 5th, and 1 now in the top of the 7th for the Kettleers. They lead at 3-0 on 12 hits. As now it's Cody Pasek. 1 for 3, struck out looking in the 2nd, single in the 4th, and a double play in the 5th inning. And Tyler Brocious would love nothing more than a double play right here. First pitch is high on the off speed from Brocious, 1-0. Brocious being recruited to the University of Rhode Island as a center fielder. They had him throw a bullpen one time just to see what happened. His submarine motion was the natural pitching motion that he had. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed by Pasek, 1-1. And the coaches there let him roll with it. He became the Rhode Island closer. Has been the Braves closer this year. He's coming in a relief appearance now. At Rhode Island, he collected 6 saves. Throws back toward first. McCorder's back in time. Braves have gotten lucky. They've allowed 12 hits on the Kettleers Cotuit only getting 3 runs across the plate. 1-1. Pasek shoots it to left field, will be curving foul. And he's now behind 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And I'm going to big from Brocious. He had McWhorter down in the hole 0-2 before his RBI single. If he's able to get a strikeout here, then with the double play, he can get out of the inning without too much bleeding, but don't want to leave something over the plate.
1-2. Pasek watches it outside. Off speed from Brocious. It's called a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Braves had a 3-game winning streak that was halted by Wareham 2 days ago. 2-2. Pasek will shoot it back toward the screen. 2-2 still. Runners on first and third. Wareham now on a 4-game winning streak, one of the hottest teams in the league. Here's the 2-2 on Pasek yet again. Outside, bounces right before Greer. He collects it. It's a 3-2 count now on the Cotuit Kettleers catcher.
And you're going to have... It'd be interesting to see here if you have McWhorter run on first base. I'd probably doubt it here on the 3-2 pitch. Don't want to run yourself into a strike him out, throw him out situation. 3-2, do not want to load up the bases with Matthew Mervis, an all-star, getting his first at bat of the game on deck.
The payoff is flown foul. Third base side will land out of play. We'll do the 3-ball and 2 strike count yet again. Casey Schmidt is on third. Mason McWhorter is on first. Both getting on with singles. Schmidt has reached base 3 times today. Also has to take on a lot as he's now the pitcher for the Kettleers, coming on in relief. Payoff. Inside, bounces behind Jackson Greer. It's a walk. Casey Schmidt holds up at third, and the Kettleers have loaded it up yet again.
And that hurts if you're Tyler Brocious. You have him down on the count 0-2, and you walk him. Now Matthew Mervis comes up with the bases juiced and an opportunity to really bust this one open here in the top of the 7th inning.
For the 3rd time in tonight's ball game, the bases are loaded. Matthew Mervis stepping up. .296 average. He's now playing in his 13th game. 1 home run on the year, 10 RBIs. He's got 8 hits and 27 at-bats. Faces Tyler Brocious for the first time. He comes set. First pitch is inside. It's called a strike on the fastball, 0-1.
So the brutal thing here, Sam, is that still nobody out in this inning. The Braves need something special to happen to avoid giving up any more runs.
Mervis, a rising senior from Duke. Here's the 0-1. It's outside. Fastball again from Brocious. 1 ball and 1 strike count. He's the same as Casey Schmidt, also a two-way player. Has an ERA of 2.25. Pitched in 5 games, has a 1-1 record. 12 innings on the year. He's been solid as a pitcher. Brocious delivers the 1-1 to him. Off speed, called a strike on the outside corner, and Brocious has the lead in the at-bat, 1-2.
Yeah, and now it's the 3rd consecutive batter that he's had to 2 strikes. Now let's see if he can actually put away Mervis here. Mervis striking out twice. He's 0 for, or excuse me, that was before. That was Christian Robinson who was 0 for 3. Mervis, his first at-bat here. It'd be nice for the confidence to strike him out his first time.
3-0 lead for the Kettleers. Brocious comes set. The 1-2 to Mervis is fouled back just in front of the plate. Barely got a bat on it and fouled it right back down. He stays alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes. No real wind right now at Doran Park as nighttime has fallen. In a park where the ball basically dies, Mervis is going to need a lot of power and drive if he wants to hit a grand slam here. 1-2 from Brocious. A fastball got him swinging for the first out of the inning. That's a big strikeout for Tyler Brocious on the mound, striking out Mervis, 1 out.
At bat, number
Yeah, really needed that one right there. Now a ground ball here from Loper Fido can get Brocious out of this inning, only giving up 1 run. Bases are loaded with no outs. That strikeout now here with 1 away, top of the 7th inning. The Braves right now only trailing by 3 runs.
And Loper Fido only with 2 RBIs this year in his 15th game. First pitch from Brocious. A beautiful off speed right down the pipe for a strike 0-1.
This could be a big momentum builder here. If he's able to get Loper Fido to strike out or pop up in the infield, any situation where that runner from third can't come in to score, that would be big for the momentum, not only for the pitcher up on the mound, Brocious, but for the hitters as well to maybe try and take advantage of that mistake by Cotuit.
Brocious, a player that's trying to get his confidence back after 2 rough outings and not collecting a save. 0-1. Right down the middle for another swinging strike on Loper Fido, and Brocious now has Loper Fido in an 0-2 hole.
Yeah, so now the 4th consecutive batter that Brocious has had, down to 2 strikes. See if he can get out of it here. That'd be huge.
Brocious gets a sign from Greer. The 0-2 delivery to Loper Fido is lined back toward the screen for a foul ball. Still an 0-2 count. Brocious, a rising senior, has not collected a save since July 5th in a game where he allowed 2 earned runs against Harwich in the final inning. Luckily, the Braves had a 3-0 lead at the time. 0-2 is fouled back toward the screen. Loper Fido doing a good job of defending. Still a no-ball, 2-strike count.
I think we're likely to see a waste pitch here from Tyler Brocious up on the mound there. Throwing 2 hittable pitches to Loper Fido up at the plate. I think you probably go low and outside here. See if he'll bite.
It took 6 games for Brocious to finally allow his first hit. He did so against Harwich. Here's the 0-2 pitch on Loper Fido. Got him swinging. There is 2 straight strikeouts for Tyler Brocious on the mound, and now it's 2 outs and the bases loaded. There was a beautiful off-speed that Loper Fido had a check swing on. He did go around, and now it's up to Adam Oviedo, who has reached base in all 3 of his at-bats, to try and get at least 1 run home in this bases-loaded situation.
Yeah, a single, a hit by pitch, and a walk. And if Brocious can send him down, he can get out of a bases-loaded, no-out jam, only sacrificing 1 run.
First pitch to Oviedo is a fastball down the pipe for a strike. Brocious now has 11 strikeouts on the year, striking out Mervis and Loper Fido back-to-back. He comes set, 0-1 count on Oviedo with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. It's outside. Off speed, evens up the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Oviedo on the year. 14 RBIs, one of them coming earlier in a single in the 3rd inning. 1-1. Fastball down the middle for a strike. Oviedo's now down 1-2.
And that's a big pitch right there from Tyler Brocious. 1-2 count. Only 1 pitch away from really keeping the Braves in this game.
2 outs, bases loaded. 1 run across the plate for the Kettleers. They lead at 3-0. And Oviedo is trying to make that a lot worse. Brocious, hands meet at the belt. The 1-2 from the Submarine pitcher. Right down over to left field. That'll get a run home. In comes Casey Schmidt. McOrder is held up over at third. And Oviedo cashes in. It's now a 4-0 lead for the Kettleers.
Unfortunate there from Brocious. Gave up the base hit straight into left field. Not a lot you can do if you're a fielder, if you're Morissette or Warren. Bounces straight through, gets to Rivoli, and nice job by him to get the ball back in quick. Hold McOrder at third base. That run also credited to Blake Brazil. So his final line looks at 1 inning pitch, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned. And Cotuit still in danger here of putting up more runs.
Yeah, bases are still loaded. Back to the top of the order in Cameron Hill. 2 outs. First pitch from Brocious. Outside, gets behind glove. McWhorter comes in to score. It's now a 5-0 lead for Cotuit.
Wild pitch that gets behind Greer, the catcher, and now this one's been blown wide open here in the top of the 7th inning. 3 runs in this inning, and like I said, Sam, the Kettleers still not done. A wild pitch brings in a run, and now Brocious trying just to get out of here now.
It was outside from Brocious. Got a little bit of contact on Greer's glove, but it ends up bouncing to the backstop. A wild pitch, 3 runs home in the inning. The 1-0. Hill, swing and a miss. Off-speed pitch from Brocious. Evens things up, 1 ball and 1 strike. Kettleers now looks a little better. 13 hits, 5 runs. On the Braves side, just 5 hits and no runs. Here's the 1-1 from Brocious. Hill, swing and a miss on a pitch that was outside. And Brocious now has a 1 ball and 2 strike lead. Cody Pasek at second. Adam Oviedo at second, Pasek at third. Here's the 1-2 pitch on Hill, outside on the off-speed from Brocious. Evens up the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You don't want to give up a walk here, certainly, to Cameron Hill. Reload the bases. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. You have to go out and get a final strike 3.
Brocious comes set. 2-2. Got Hill swinging. So Brocious in the inning collects 3 strikeouts, but 3 runs come across the plate for the Kettleers. They now lead at 5-0, and it's stretch time here at Doran Park. The Braves coming up in the bottom of the 7th. Catch it all here on the Bourne Braves YouTube channel. The Bourne Braves now find themselves in a 5-0 deficit against the Cotuit Kettleers. It'll be Nick Bruiser leading it off, followed by Jake McKenzie and Judd Fabian. 8-9-1 against Casey Schmidt, just the second pitcher used by the Kettleers this evening, and there's a lot of work to do for the Braves lineup. Bruiser is 1 for 2, singled in the second inning, watches ball 1. 3 runs coming across the plate for the Kettleers in the top of the 7th. So now it's 5 runs for them on 13 hits. The 1-0, Bruiser watches the fastball from Schmidt in there for a strike, 1-1. Casey Schmidt remains on the mound after taking a ball that was actually a foul ball on the inside part of the bat. Hurt his hand for a little bit. The trainers went out and talked with him. The 1-1 for Bruiser is taken to right field. He has his second single of the night.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there from Bruiser. Taking the ball where it's pitched and getting the Braves going a little bit here in this bottom of the 7th inning. You're down by 5 runs. You got to start somewhere.
So Bruiser will lead it off. Jake McKenzie, who's 0 for 2, will come up. One of the few returning players from last year. McKenzie struck out in the second and flew out to center in the fifth. Turned back to first by Schmidt. Trainers looked at Schmidt for a little bit, decided he was all right, and the very next pitch, he got a single, which he stretched out over to second. First pitch to McKenzie is a fastball strike, 0-1. Schmidt comes set. There's the 0-1 on McKenzie. It's a breaking ball that falls low. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Braves' second baseman today. Jimmy Glowacki getting the night off. Typically, it's Morissette at second, Glowacki at short, but Morissette moves over to short tonight. And Jake McKenzie, who's really started all over the place, starts at second. He started in left field a couple games as well. 1-1. Off speed, McKenzie, little chopper over to Oviedo at short. Toss to second, throw to first. Is not in time to first, but it's a fielder's choice. They get Nick Bruiser out.
So more or less an empty out there for the Kettleers. They flip one half of the double play. McKenzie beats out the throw over to first base. And we're in the same situation with the runner in first now, just 1 out.
Fabian's still looking for his first hit since his 3-run home run against the Kettleers the last time these two faced off. Fabian's 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts. Here's the first pitch from Schmidt. It's an off speed that curves into the zone for a first strike. Fabian just finishing his freshman year with the Florida Gators. Picked to the All-Star game earlier that was announced earlier today. He will be a reserve, one of the 6 Braves players to make it to Eldridge Park on July 21st. Nobody placing in the home run derby, which is not surprising. 0-1 is driven to left center field, but moving in on it is Dante Williams in center. He'll make the play for the second out. Judd Fabian, great contact to left center field. Dante Williams got him on the run, and there's 2 on.
Number 27.
And not much you can do about that if you're Judd Fabian, because he hit the ball well off the bat. Ball just hangs up there in the air, and Dante Williams, who covers a lot of ground, he's a speedy guy, sped up to the spot, makes the catch, and tried to get McKenzie doubled up at first base. The throw was cut off by McCorder, and now 2 away here.
The Braves have had a lot of those kinds of plays today. Throw back to first, and McKenzie's back in time. He has 5 stolen bases out of the 7 that the Braves have stolen as a team. A line out by Kyle Hess to right field that almost got down, and then you have that play by Judd Fabian. Here's the first pitch to Xavier Warren, falls low. It's a 1-0 count to the Braves' third baseman.
And Warren just looking for a base hit here to try and make something happen, because Braves, well, I think the Braves as a team making look something happen here. Still scoreless in the bottom of the 7th inning, our final third of the game here. And while Warren does have a hit, base hit here just to make something happen, bring up Cade Beloso, who's got a couple of hits, just to get the Braves on the board, some momentum moving forward here.
Judd Fabian has not gotten a hit since July 9th. The 1-0 pitch to Xavier Warren is high, 2-0. A game where he got 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 3 for 5 game at Lowell Park against Cotuit, and a 6-4 win for the Braves. Has great contact, just right to where Dante Williams was covering for the second out of the inning. Jake McKenzie still over at first. Here's the 2-0 to Warren. Off speed, low and inside for ball 3, 3-0.
Yeah, and a walk would work here too, as it looks like Kerry Wright is getting loose in the Braves bullpen right now. You might have wondered how long Tyler Brocious would throw. It looks like that question might have already been answered. With Wright getting loose here, still we got some work to do here in the bottom half.
3-0. Xavier Warren watches the fastball on the outside part of the plate for a strike. It's now 3-1 on him. And for Brocious, looks like he'll only pitch in that 7th inning. That will be it for who was the Braves closer. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Warren. Down the middle of the zone and over into left field out of the outstretched glove of Matthew Mervis at third. It's a 2-out single, the second single of the game for Xavier Warren, and the Braves now have runners on first and second.
Yeah, a good pitch to hit there on a 3-1 count for Xavier Warren, taking it into the opposite field just off the glove of Matthew Mervis, who, if he would have made the catch, would have been pretty cognizant of what kind of night it's been for the Braves, making tons of contact off the bat, just right at Kettleers defenders. This one off the tip of the glove, though, rolls into left field, and now Beloso, opportunity here to get the Braves on the board.
Beloso with 2 hits today, a single in the first, a double in the 6th inning. He's enjoyed a pretty good one at the plate. 2 of the Braves now 7 hits. First pitch to him is off speed, right in the zone for a strike from Casey Schmidt, 0-1. Beloso and Giovanni DiGiacomo, both teammates at LSU and now teammates on the Bourne Braves. DiGiacomo doesn't get the start in the outfield tonight. He's one of those right field rotational players. 0-1 is cut on by Beloso back toward the screen. He now falls behind 0-2.
Beloso isn't a big strikeout guy, 10 times this season, and only about 30 to 40 back with LSU and around 200 or so at bats. I'd like to see him make something happen here, get a base hit. He's going to have to battle back, though.
Casey Schmidt comes set. Here's the 0-2. Got him swinging. Cade Beloso goes down on the strikeout. The Braves leave runners on first and second. They get 2 hits. No runs come across the plate. A 5-0 lead as we enter the 8th for the Cotuit Kettleers. You're watching Bourne Braves Baseball on YouTube. The Braves have tied their season high of now using their 5th pitcher. Tyler Brocious tonight is done. He goes 1 inning, allows 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and strikes out 3. And now it's Kerry Wright from Louisville, who, Jordan, is trying to pick it up after a rough outing in his last one.
Yeah, only threw a third of an inning, giving up 5 runs, 4 of them earned, only off of 1 hit in the second game of the Hyannis doubleheader. He's 0-1 on the season with a 15.42 ERA.
He'll face Dante Williams. The first pitch is a strike on the inside part of the plate, 0-1.
Yeah,
Williams is 1 for 3 with 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, and that outing really against Hyannis has defined him. He was going to come in yesterday against the Commodores in replace of Colby Dunlop. However, that game got rained out right as he was brought into the game. So now he's got a fresh slate here against Cotuit.
The 0-1 is chopped at and fouled off right back into the glove of Jackson Greer. And Dante Williams is now behind 0-2.
It'd be big for his confidence, for Kerry's confidence, if he's able to go out, go up, and get a first pitch, first batter strikeouts. That'd do a lot to set him forward for not only this game, but for the rest of the season.
Right in the windup, now fires the 0-2 pitch. Williams just gets a bat on it and fouls it back to the screen. Still an 0-2 count. 13 hits for the Kettleers, 5 runs, 7 hits for the Braves, and no runs.
And 5 pitchers in a game, like Sam said, ties a season high. They've done this 3 times, if you include tonight. Only a couple of other times before.
0-2. Williams, hard hit ground ball over to second, picked up by Jake McKenzie, fires over to first, and it's in time for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, good first batter there for Kerry Wright. The other 2 times the Braves used 5 pitchers was in the win against Hyannis a few nights ago, and then back all the way to the 3rd game of the season in the win against Falmouth. The Braves also threw 5 arms there, and you have to imagine here, Wright most likely to be the last pitcher, but it looks like there is somebody warming up in the pen right now, so maybe not. We might see 6 tonight, Sam.
Parker Shavers steps up. First pitch he sees is a check swing. He did go around, appeal over to third base umpire Jared Duquette. And Shavers starts off 0-1. He's had quite the game. A double, a single. He's come around to score 2 runs, a walk as well. 0-1 is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shavers in the 3 spot today. He struck out looking in the first inning, one of J.P. Woodward's 3 strikeouts, and it seems like forever ago when J.P. Woodward started this game. The 1-1 pitch is a fastball right down the middle for a strike, 1-2.
It seems like 2.5 hours ago. I think is what you're saying. That's 2 hours and 45 minutes, just about.
The longest game of the season came against Cotuit earlier this week, right here at Doran Park. The 1-2 pitch is high and outside, 2-2. A 3-hour and 40-minute ball game.
Yeah, and it was 8-6, so you can understand how that game got to be that way. However, the Braves beat Falmouth 14-0, and the score of that game was the time of that game was just under 3 hours.
Here's the 1-2 pitch on Shavers, off speed, and he check swing. He did go around. So Shavers goes down on the strikeout for the 2nd time this evening, and it's 2 easy outs for Kerry Wright on the mound.
And the Braves have been striking hitters out a lot in this game, 11 so far with that last strikeout. Now here comes the pitcher, which is not a phrase you're used to saying in this league. Casey Schmidt now comes up.
Schmidt's 3 for 4 with 3 singles. Came around to score in the last inning for his only run scored of the ball game. First pitch from Kerry Wright. Fastball low for a called ball, 1-0.
And Kerry Wright, when you look at him, 6'4", 235, he's got definitely the build to be successful. He's got the build for great velocity, just hasn't found it yet. If he's able to get a couple more miles an hour on his fastball, great second pitch, he's going to be okay.
1-0 fastball is high and outside to Schmidt, 2-0. Schmidt's last at bat, he fouled off a pitch in one that he meant to take. It hit his bat, and actually, in hitting his bat, injured his hand. He was looked at by trainers and was okay. 2-0 is a little chopper over to third. Xavier Warren charging in. He gloves it, fires to first. It's in time to retire Casey Schmidt. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Kerry Wright on the mound. No runs, no hits. Nobody left on. 5-0 lead for the Kettleers heading to the bottom half of the 8th. You're watching Bourne Braves Baseball on YouTube. 5-0 lead for the Cotuit Kettleers. Leading things off will be Jacob Campbell, who will pinch hit for Jackson Greer. His night is over. He goes 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Campbell will come in to face off Casey Schmidt, who's back on the mound. Schmidt came on in the middle of the 6th inning in relief of Zachary McCambly, who only allowed just 5 hits and struck out 7. He ties his season high. Now has 14 strikeouts against the Bourne Braves, and Campbell will get his first at-bat of tonight's game.
Yeah, Campbell will get his first at-bat, and if you don't mind, let's have a little trip around the Cape, shall we, Sam? We have an extra inning game on our hands over from Gov Fuller Field. Brewster and Falmouth knotted up at 2 in the top of the 10th at that one, so we might be on the tie watch. We had one yesterday and possibly one today. Bottom of the 9th inning between Chatham and Hyannis in that one. And the score right now is 6-3. However, Hyannis, trailing in that one, had runners on first and third. And actually, I think this game might have just gone final.
Campbell has no one count.
Yeah, and this game, as soon as I'm talking about, has just gone final. 6-3, Chatham over Hyannis. And then real quickly, Sam, Harwich with a 5-1 lead over Wareham.
Wareham with a 4-game winning streak about to be snapped by the Harwich Mariners, who seem to be on a little bit of a roll.
I was going to say, what a couple of days for them. They're up 12-0 against Cotuit before their game got called. Now up by 4 runs against Wareham, and Orleans, not known for their hitting. They put up 10 runs against YD at Eldridge Park. That game in the top of the 5th over there.
Here's the 1-1 pitch from Schmidt. It's called a strike on the inside part of the plate, 1-2. Jacob Campbell, a 143 average, 3 for 21, only has 1 RBI on the year, 1 double. He went 0 for 3 in his last game against the Wareham Gatemen. A strikeout. He allowed 4 stolen bases in that game playing behind the plate. The 1-2 is fouled off toward the Cotuit dugout. Still a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
And Campbell, for him, this is not necessarily about today's game. You like to see him work a nice at-bat, build some momentum going forward. Likely to get the start tomorrow with how Harvard Shapiro has been working his catchers every other day. Greer got the start today, so Campbell likely to get the start tomorrow.
Henry Davis sent home with an injury. He was released just a few days ago. 1-2 from Schmidt. It's low. Check swing on Jacob Campbell. The appeal to first. He did go around. So Jacob Campbell strikes out for the 8th time this season in his first plate appearance. It's the first out of the inning.
And that's not exactly what you like to see there from Campbell. Fooled on the off-speed there in the dirt. You went around on the appeal, and that's a quick first out on this bottom of the 8th.
Now it's Cody Morissette. 5-0 lead for the Kettleers. They scored 1 in the top of the 3rd, 1 in the top of the 5th, and 3 runs, really the dagger so far, in the top of the 7th inning. Morissette facing Casey Schmidt. He is 0 for 2, got on with a walk in the 6th inning. Morissette had his 8-game hitting streak snapped 2 nights ago in the last game against Wareham. First pitch is a fastball from Casey Schmidt down the middle for a called strike.
Morissette in today's game has not really had anything to go his way. He walked in the last time, but other than that, 0 for 2 with a couple ground outs and a fielder's choice.
0-1. Fastball low and inside, taken for a ball, 1-1. Morissette in what was played of yesterday's game, got a single in the 1st inning, but that, of course, wiped away, as was most of the field. A very big downpour at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth. It was a 7-2 lead for the Commodores over the Braves. That was called in the middle of the 2nd inning. The 1-1 is a called strike on the outside part of the plate, 1-2. Could have been a big win for the Falmouth Commodores, who are looking to distance themselves from the Bourne Braves in the Western Division. Right now they have a 7-point lead on the Braves. Falmouth at 13-10-1, the Braves at 10-15, and under danger of going 10-16.
Falmouth not really helping themselves out. I mentioned that they were in extra innings. They gave up 2 runs in the top of the 10th inning. Now trail Brewster 4-2. So if that result holds, there's a possibility, Sam, that Cotuit is going to be the only West team to win a game tonight.
Here's the 1-2, little chopper over to 3rd, picked up by Mervis, fires over to 1st. The throw is low, but McWhorter gloves it for out number 2.
And 2 quick outs, and the energy here at Doran is pretty much nil. Not a lot of energy right now. 5-0. Cotuit going to likely pick up their 3rd win against the Braves here, and that would mean the best the Braves can finish against the Kettleers this season is 500.
That was Kyle Hess. He lined out to right field in his last at-bat, so he's 0 for 1. Came on as a pinch hitter, taking out Jared Poland in the DH spot. First pitch from Schmidt is a fastball right down the middle for a strike. 0-1. The Eastern Division has appeared to be the better division in the Cape League this year. Chatham has the best record. 34 points on the year. Wareham with 33 points. Here's the 0-1. Down the middle yet again for a strike. 0-2. Right, you put the Braves in the Eastern Division. They're in last place by 4 points. You put Hyannis in the Eastern Division. They're in last place by 11.
Oh, but yeah, by a lot more than 4.
Schmidt comes set, fires the 0-2 pitch, bounces before the plate. Hess takes it for a ball, 1-1. And that's really the only thing that's saving the Braves, is Hyannis is just doing worse.
Right. Well, that's the thing as well, because for the Braves, they have a 7-point advantage, which equates to about 3.5 games. So with Hyannis, you'd think they'd have to win like 4 out of 5 games. The problem is, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to do that. If they're able to win that many games in such a short amount of time. They dropped to 6-20-1 tonight. And on that pace, it's only about 1 per every 6 or 7 games.
1-2 is fouled back to the backstop. Still 1-2 to Kyle Hess. The Braves trying to make their first playoff appearance since 2017 when they made the championship against the Brewster Whitecaps. Also reached the championship round in 2014, of course, winning it in 2009 against the Cotuit Kettleers, back when the divisions were a little bit different. Schmidt comes set, fires the 1-2 pitch on Kyle Hess, got him swinging. The Braves go down in order. No runs, no hits, nobody left on base. 5-0 lead as we enter the final frame. Cotuit on top. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Top of the ninth, Cotuit, a 5-0 lead. They've had the lead since the top of the third, where they scored 1 run. It was also 1 run in the top of the 5th, and the final 3 runs in the top of the 7th inning, and that's where we stand right now. Kerry Wright still on the mound. Had an easy 1-2-3 inning. When he came on in the top of the 8th, it'll be Mason McWhorter, Cody Pasek, and Matthew Mervis due up in this top of the 9th, with Cotuit a comfortable 5-0 lead. And the Braves have gotten 7 hits, just haven't been able to get anybody home. So McWhorter leads things off, has 2 RBIs today on just 1 hit. First pitch is high and tight from Kerry Wright, 1-0.
And Kerry Wright getting his 2nd inning of work after working a 1-2-3 inning would be big for his confidence and, frankly, for his ERA if he's able to work another clean inning here.
1-0, McWhorter fouls it back toward the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike count. 13 hits for the Kettleers. Here's the 1-1. It's a fastball low. Called a ball, 2 balls and 1 strike. Temperature cooling off. It's nighttime at Doran Park. No real wind. Here's the 2-1. It's a fastball high, and McWhorter's now ahead. 3 balls and 1 strike. I gotta say, Doran Park is one of the more prettier sights on the Cape, especially during the nighttime.
It's funny. The trees that line the outfield just seem to fade away as the sun goes down, and all you can really see is baseball.
3-1, a fastball high that McWhorter swings and misses. 3-2. I want to hear your stadium rankings.
Oh, goodness, yeah, because we haven't seen enough of those on Twitter.
No.
Stadium rankings. I'm a big fan of Lowell Park.
Yeah.
I think that's up there. Veterans Field, of course, obviously comes highly rated as everyone. Spillane Field over at Wareham with the Raptor cage on top of the third base dugout. The gravel infield.
3-2, McWhorter thinks about it, but takes that ball low for a ball, and he's on with a leadoff walk.
Yeah, Spillane's got to be at the bottom of the list for me, I think. And now ends. White House, I think, is actually a little bit underrated when it comes to most parks. It's beautiful, all the trees lining in the background. I probably put that in number 3 behind Veterans. Let's see here. YD, Red Wilson Field. We haven't really been there yet, so I'm not sure what to do there. We were there before the game got canceled about half an hour before first pitch.
First pitch to Cody Pasek is a fastball outside from Kerry Wright. Starts him off 1-0. Pasek is 1 for 3, a strikeout. Got on with a walk as well, so he's been on base twice.
I think I'll probably put Eldridge at number 4, which might seem like a little bit of a hot take.
1-0 outside, 2-0.
Eldridge, of course, is beloved by many people just because of its age, all of its history. Let's see, who am I forgetting here? Hyannis, McKeon Park. Oh, man, that's probably mid to lower tier, I'd say.
2-0 gets by Jake Campbell. McWhorter gets over to second. It's now a 3-0 count on Cody Pasek.
And I'll go as a pass ball, too, for Campbell. And we've seen him struggle with bases or with runners on base, giving up a lot of stolen bases. They're a pass ball. Now, this is all excluding Doran Park.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
To be clear.
You're forgetting Doran Park.
Yeah, Doran Park is clearly number 1.
Okay.
Clearly number 1. Home of the Braves. Come on now.
3-0. Pasek watches that. That's a 4-pitch walk for Kerry Wright. So now the Kettleers have runners on first and second. That brings up Matthew Mervis.
And this is important now because a pitching performance like this, when you give up 6 arms, starts to trickle into the game tomorrow. Now you only have 2 to 3 arms that are available out of the bullpen. And if everybody's tired, then starters have to go further into games, and it becomes a problem if they can't get there.
First pitch to Mervis is inside. Make that 7 straight balls for Kerry Wright. And I think this is just a case of a lot of pitchers being due for an appearance, all really just kind of fitting themselves in this game. Kerry Wright's the 5th pitcher, and he hasn't pitched since the second game of the doubleheader against Hyannis a week ago. Here's the 1-0. Mervis watches it high for a ball. 2-0.
What am I forgetting? I'm going to go back to the stadium rankings as Ace Adams goes to check on his pitcher. Oh, Stony Brook at Brewster. That's another middle of the pack. I think 4 through 6 or maybe 5 through 7 are all kind of familiar. They're all kind of the same between Stony Brook. Who else did I have there?
We'll have to give Stony Brook another chance, I think, because we were there on a
rainy day.
Rainy day, fog.
Well, and YD is hard to rank because we haven't played a game there.
Yeah. Jelly burger, though. They're the jelly donut burger.
Oh, speaking of Twitter, we've seen a lot of food reviews on the jelly burger.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Food review central over here on the Cape.
That's a popular one. Doran Park has, maybe you can do, there's a chili dog.
The chili dog, right?
Yeah. I've gotten Cheetos from the snack bar before.
Now, Cheetos, that I heard that was pretty exclusive.
Yeah, it is.
You can't get that anywhere else.
2-0 pitch on Mervis is outside. 3-0. Kerry Wright kind of just pauses. He's shocked. He's now thrown 9 straight balls.
It hasn't been relatively close on either of the last 3 pitches either.
3-0 to Mervis. and that one misses. So for the fourth time today, the Kettleers load him up.
And it's off of
At bat,
two
number
8,
18,
2 4-pitch walks. The bases are loaded all off of walks, and this one has the chance of getting ugly here, folks. 5-0, bases loaded, nobody out. And it looks like Sean Harney right now is warming up in the pen just in case this gets way out of control.
It'll be Joey Loperfido. There's a strike from Kerry Wright. A fastball, 0-1. Loperfido has gotten on twice, doubled in the third inning, came around to score, and got on with a fielder's choice in the fourth. Struck out in the seventh inning. 0-1. Loperfido, chopper back toward the Kettleers dugout. He's now down 0-2 with the bases loaded. McWhorter at third, Pasek at second, and Mervis at first. Kettleers looking to put some real distance in this game. Kerry Wright steps off the mound. It's up to him and Jay Campbell to get out of this jam with nobody out. 0-2. It's off speed, called strike 3. So Kerry Wright gets his first strikeout of tonight's ball game, or second strikeout of tonight's ball game. Loperfido is retired. That's the first out of the inning.
Well, that's a good start if you're trying to get out of the inning. Strikeout there. Now a ground ball double play, or a double play of any sort, I guess, will get you out of this top of the ninth inning. And despite walking 3 straight, if Wright is able to work 2 scoreless innings, it's got to do a lot for his confidence.
Adam Oviedo steps up. First pitch is a fastball low, 1-0. Adam Oviedo already 2 RBI singles. He's gotten on all 4 at-bats he's had. 2 for 2, hit by pitch, and a walk. He's really looking to extend to that RBI total. Wright comes set, fires the 1-0 to him. It's a fastball inside, called a ball. It's now 2-0.
And Oviedo only came into this game at a 230 clip. Now that surely is going to be heading up thanks to the couple singles tonight. Technically, on paper, he's 2 for 2, even though he's had 4 appearances. 2 singles, he was hit by a pitch and also walked back in the 6th inning as well.
Here's the 2-0 pitch on Oviedo. It's a fastball that he thinks about. It's called a strike. Looked to pull the trigger, but he pulled the bat back. 2 balls and 1 strike.
What are some other rankings we've seen? We've seen Jersey rankings.
Yeah, and I'm heated about that one.
Oh, why is that?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah, please.
Right comes set. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's outside. It's now a great hitter's count for Oviedo, 3-1. I think the Orleans vest jerseys with the red undershirts should have been number 1. That wasn't even ranked. I like the Braves road blues.
Yeah, the navies and the gray with the red piping on the pants. That's a good look.
I think that's our best look. Right comes set. The 3-1 pitch is a fastball in the zone for a strike, and the count now runs full on Oviedo with the bases loaded, 3-2. Those are really the only 2. I don't mind Hyannis's little pinstripe action.
Pinstripe,
like that.
Yeah, blue and orange reminds me of a certain MLB team.
Yep, the Mets, which they were formerly called.
Yeah,
until 2010. Here's the payoff on Oviedo. Got him swinging, and Kerry Wright, who loaded up the bases all by himself with nobody out, is now struck out the next 2 batters.
Talk about a bounce back. Load him up all on walks, and you strike out the next 2. If he's able to get out, Cameron Ellie works himself out of a bases loaded, no out jam. How about that?
So 2 outs, bases loaded. It's Cameron Hill. Hill came on as a pinch hitter early in this game for Albury Major. First pitch is a strike on a check swing. Albury Major was taken out of this game. A batter that is one of the top hitters in the league. Hasn't played enough games yet to qualify for the leader in average. 0-1 is off speed and outside. Campbell has to just corral it with the glove. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jacob Campbell calls timeout. This is a great opportunity for me to get out the rest of my ranking.
Please do.
I like Brewster's colors. I don't know if I want to rank them because it's just too, I think it's too close.
Tell me what you like and don't like. How about that?
Fair enough. I don't like Cotuit.
I'll tell you what.
colors.
What I'm not a fan of with Cotuit is the maroon look is fine here with the pinstripe action. What I don't understand is like the navy sleeve, like right here, like on the abdomen. There's a navy like strip.
Right comes set. Here's the 1-1 pitch on Hill. It's a fastball outside, 2-1. See, I haven't even seen that.
Look right here. If Cameron Hill, you see that right there, right under the under
gray. I think it's more of a gray.
Is it really? See, I can't tell.
I think it's more of a grayish, like a dark gray. You should know. It's kind of like a diamond. It's like a Diamondbacks maroon, maybe a little darker.
Well, I don't know. Diamondbacks aren't maroon though.
2-1. Hill is swinging on that pitch. It's now a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Kerry Wright attempting to get himself out of this jam after he got himself into it.
Just so you know, it's not a maroon. It's a Sedona red.
Sorry.
Okay, that's a big difference.
Sorry. 2-2. Called strike 3. That was probably the most impressive pitching performance we've seen by a Braves pitcher in this game. Kerry Wright loads up the bases all on walks and then retires the next 3 batters all on the strikeout. 5-0, Cotuit Kettleers lead it. We head to the bottom half of the 9th with Casey Schmidt heading onto the mound to try and end this one. 5-0, Kettleers lead. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Braves are down to their final inning. It'll be Brendan Rivoli, Nick Bruiser, and Jake McKenzie due up in the bottom of the 9th inning, down 5-0 to the Cotuit Kettleers. Casey Schmidt attempting to get the save. He's pitched more than 3 innings.
At bat, number 26 from the University of Virginia.
He came on in relief in the middle of the 6th for Zachary McCambly. He came on as a relief pitcher. McCambly went 5 1/3, allowing 5 hits, striking out 7, tied for his season high. And now Casey Schmidt looking to close it out. Brendan Rivoli steps up. 1 for 3 in tonight's ball game. First pitch from Schmidt is a fastball that falls low, 1-0.
For whatever reason, the Braves just have really a lot of problems against Casey Schmidt, who's on the mound for the 3rd time against the Braves. And if this were possibly a team they might see in the first round of the playoffs, I think you could probably guess who they'd see in relief. Maybe not only that first game, but both games.
1-0, a fastball down the middle to Rivoli. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, if we're ranking hats, I think I know that one a little better. Continuing the conversation from the last inning.
Ranking hats.
Hats, yeah.
It's interesting.
Why can't we do that?
No, I just haven't paid a lot of attention to hats.
1-1 is inside, 2-1. Well, I'm a hat guy.
I know you are, so I'd like to hear this.
Give me Chatham 1.
Chatham, okay. Is this including the Braves?
Yes.
Okay.
I like Braves 2.
Yep.
I just like the red, white, and blue colors, so that's why I go Chatham 1, Braves 2.
Okay.
Here's a 2-1 on Rivoli. I'll tell you after. Here's the pitch to Rivoli. It's high, and Rivoli now has a good hitter's count, 3-1. After that, it's a little shaky.
Not a fan of Hyannises, like the beak of the Harbor Hawk.
Well, they have that, but they also have the little H. That's in like a. I think we've seen them wear it. It's a little bit of a cursive pattern.
Oh, that's right.
It's pretty cool. I like that
one.
I would almost put that as 3. 3-1. Rivoli gets a piece of it, fouls it back toward the seats, and the count now runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And when I say the Braves hat, I mean the blue base with the red bill, the home ones. I like that look. I would put Hyannis's H at 3. After that, well, I like Harwich. Harwich is all red, but the H,
yep,
That one's pretty cool. Oh, Orleans White. Orleans White with the red bill. I like that one a lot. That
Really?
one's almost number 3 for me. I might sub that one out. 3-2. Rivoli drives it right to second baseman Joey Loperfido, and he is out on a line drive right to the second baseman.
Yeah, that's pretty much how the night has gone for the Braves. Hit the ball hard, just right at Kettleers on the field, and a line out right to Loperfido at second. Now the Braves just 2 outs away.
It'll be Nick Bruiser, who has 2 singles in today's game. He's 2 for 3. First pitch is a swinging strike to the Braves right fielder. 0-1. Xavier Warren, Cade Beloso, and Nick Bruiser all have multi-hit games for the Braves, and they account for 6 of the Braves' 7 hits. 0-1 from Schmidt. Fastball low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Schmidt comes set. 1-1 on Bruiser. Thinks about pulling the trigger. It's an off-speed pitch that falls right in the middle of the zone. And Bruiser's now down 1-2. Jake McKenzie is due up, and looks like he's going to be pinch hit for by Kyler Fedko. So he will get his first at-bat of tonight's ball game. Casey Schmidt comes set, looking for his 3rd save of the year. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's low and outside. Bounces in front of Cody Pasek. Now 2-2.
Yeah, you might as well throw Fedko in there. Why not? Can't hurt anything. Braves just have to continue to fight this one out and look forward toward Harwich tomorrow on the road. The last time they'll play Harwich and the last time at White House Field, barring they meet up with the Mariners in the championship.
The Braves lead that Harwich series 2-1. 2-2 on Bruiser is the same exact pitch. It's outside and low and skips past Pasek. And now the count runs full, 3-2 to Bruiser. Harwich is a team that the Braves like to play. They lost in the first matchup back when Jackson Greer was with the team. He had a home run right here at Durham Park, but the past 2, the Braves have come out victorious. Payoff. Got him swinging. Bruiser goes down on the strikeout, and now Kyler Fedko will be the last chance for the Braves, on by 5.
11th strikeout of the game, and that's the 4th for Casey Schmidt, and it is Fedko coming into the game. And like I said, why not? Harwich, on the other hand, Sam, on a bit of a roll. They were beating Cotuit 12-0 before that game got canceled. They were putting a beat down on Wareham. At last check, they were up 6-1 in that one.
Kyler Fedko, 175 average, 7 for 40. He went 0 for 1 in a pinch hit appearance against Wareham in the last game. He struck out. First pitch from Casey Schmidt is a fastball low, 1-0.
Yeah, that game over at Spillane Field is in the bottom of the 9th inning, so Harwich just a couple outs away from putting down the game in 6-1. And we are in a situation, Sam, where the Cotuit Kettleers are going to be the only team in the West Division with a win tonight.
1-0 is a call and strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. The Western Division just a little weaker than it was last year.
And that happens. You know, it's tough to predict these things. You can't really have trends because more or less you have a brand new team every single year. It's like college basketball.
1-1 is a swinging strike on Fedko, and the Braves are down to their final strike. Tomorrow, the Braves will be at White House Field, taking on the Harwich Mariners at 5:30. You can catch Before the Braves on the Bourne Braves Facebook Live at 5 o'clock. And we'll go live at 5:20 from White House Field. The 1-2 is low and outside, 2-2. Always fun visiting White House Field. Braves picked up a win there earlier in the season.
You always learn about some interesting stories there. We heard one of the game day interns actually has his own podcast, which is it's always interesting. You always get to hear those human interest stories that you might not. You know, always great making connections with all the other people here at the Cape.
2-2 got him swinging, and Casey Schmidt picks up his third save of the season, and the Cotuit Kettleers beat the Braves 5-0 here at Doran Park.
The final score, Cotuit.
Well, the only real positive takeaway from tonight's game is that the Braves were able to get 7 hits up on the board, and the other positive is that Hyannis also lost. So the Braves, despite the loss, they maintained their 7-point deficit, or lead, I should say, to the Harbor Hawks. Falmouth also lost in this one, so the Braves' neighbors to the north and to the south, if you will, up on the standings, both lost, so they didn't lose any ground tonight, but one of those games where you just have to forget and wake up tomorrow morning, try and get a win against Harwich.
Zachary McCambley gets the win for the Cotuit Kettleers. Casey Schmidt picks up his third save of the year, 5-0 win over the Bourne Braves, who fall to 10-16 on the year. Braves getting 7 hits, Cotuit with 13. Braves still pretty safely in that 4th spot. With you mentioned, Jordan, Hyannis losing. They stay at the same spot at 13 points, and the Braves stay at 20 points. And Jordan, you mentioned it earlier, but just a forgettable game here at Doran Park.
Yeah, 3-hour and 18-minute game that was all Cotuit. Ever since the 3rd inning, Braves throw 6 pitchers, and 5 out of those 6 pitchers gave up runs tonight. Woodward, Johnson, and Brocious all gave up 1, while Burzell gave up 2 runs. Kerry Wright was the lone person to not give up a run. However, he loaded the bases up in the 9th inning. However, he struck out the next 3 batters. So, like I said, really the big positive from the game tonight is that the Braves don't lose any ground anyway. And you just have to go out, get some nice sleep tonight, get a nice dinner, wake up tomorrow, and go try and win the season series against Harwich.
Nothing much more to say here from Doran Park. The Cotuit Kettleers move to 15-11 on the season. They make that win streak now 3 games, and they beat the Braves 5-0, who move to 10-16 on the season and now have a 2-game losing streak. We'll be live on YouTube at 5:20 tomorrow from White House Field as the Braves travel to Harwich to take on the Mariners. But that's it from Doran Park alongside Jordan Palacio. I'm Sam Wiederhaft. Good night, everybody. The Braves lose it 5-0.